Hello, everyone. It's me, Steve, I'm here again. Today with probably some of the most exciting news that we'll see in a while, which is all the Xenos stuffs. And I like a good amount of Xenos armies. I know you guys too, especially the one we got on the screen right now, Drukhari. So we're gonna go well into all the new rules for Drukhari, all the detachments, the depositions, stuff like that. And then we will go through the other ones like Eldar and Necrons and stuff, and then quickly to go through the ones I'm not too, I don't know what the word is, comfortable with, to say the least, at the end. So before we begin, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Helps a lot. It means a lot. I am recording this right after reading everything as much as possible, except the Gene Stealer Cults. We're gonna do that one live. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna go through all the changes, all the facts at the end, so you can get some little perspective about things that adjust and affect your army. So Drukhari, this one's real excited. Let's talk about depositions because this one's gonna be a little sad. All right, to start with, Spectral Spite. So I know there is this the challengement got nerfed or changed. It's both. And that is a lot of people dooming that Spectral Spite is nerfed. That is incorrect. Spectral Spite would probably be better than it is currently with depositions. If Spectral Spite could always play a good deposition, like uh recon or priority assets, it would be amazing, even for the change to challenge bit. But alas, Spectral Spite is Purge. And Purge, we see it a lot here, is our worst deposition. Probably maybe with Taken Old. I'm going to make a video probably on Friday after all the army changes go through. We see all the detachments and talk about the best depositions and why they are for Drukhari in order. So I'm gonna rate them for you guys, so you guys know what you should be focusing on. But like I said, Purge not so good. That's why Spectral Spite probably is not the best. So let's talk about all the depositions. The new Witch attachment is Disruption. The new Cabal attachment is Purge. Tools of Torment, the new Coven attachment, is Taken Old. Old Coven is Purge. They both Purge? No, that one's Taken Old. Cowboy Cartel, Disruption. For Space Raiders, Party Assets. Reaper's Rangers, Purge. And three are only 3DP. So I hate to say it to you, Reaper's Ranger fanboy. Reaper's Ranger might be dead. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want it to be dead. It has some interesting avenues for the new edition, but 3DP and Purge, not really what you should be seeing. Sky Splinter, Recon. Special Spite is Purge. There you go. Have those in your brain as we talk about the Drukhari rules. Expedition Slaughter, the new Witch attachment. Already know attachability is which units get lethal hits against non-big things. You cannot be taken over the Witch Cult attachment. Too far, we haven't seen where the tags are, and they're not in the facts, so I assume they're going to be in like the MFM, unless someone actually knows where they are and can tell me. But we're just gonna, use our little brains and assume Spectral Spite is the other Witch detachment. All right, enhancements. Parapad Torments is active from Spectral Spite. This one is Succubus model only. This unit can't be snapshotted, which for all intents purposes, it can't be overwatched. Second is Hyper Stim Trafficker. Succubus only model only. This unit gains +1 toughness. I don't know why you would ever want T4 witches for, and since this is a unit buff, it's probably more than 10 points. Man, unless this thing is like 10 points or whatever, 5-10 points. It's just like T4 witches is not doing anything. If you combine this Spectral Spite, you get to T5. No, you probably can't combine the Spectral Spite, and also it still doesn't mean anything. You have a 6 of armor save when you get shot. Makes you more durable at melee, I guess. You can think about that. If you're trying to do like a 10-man, sorry, my throat's a little weird. 10-man trying to dive people, being T4 kind of matters a little bit. But like, nothing costing nothing, we're not taking it. All right, strats, planned strikes. This just gives you Witch Cold only. This gives you lethal hits against everything. This is good when you need it. Sculpting the stage. This is really good. This is almost the whole reason you take this detachment, unless you really want disruption. Movement phase when a witch cult. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Movement phase when a witch cult unit is selected advance or fall back, they can do an action. So that is amazing for a unit that moves 8, can advance, whatever, and disembark 6 from the raider. You just have and meant you have a raider moving 14 plus D6 to go do an action, which means from like your home field you can action any objective except your home's DC most instances, which is crazy. And they said on the very 1% chance you could play the Spectral Spite, potentially move 10. But we're not going to think about that because you can't. Acrobatic Display. All right, Acrobatic Display. Opponent shooting phase, that's a target a friendly witch cult. You gain 5 bonus life. This is the same strat for Spectral Spite. This is not really anything. You're almost never going to use this strat. It's not worth it. Most instances, you have like a 10-man howling getting shot by a mid amount of things. But so, like I said, this whole detachment is really about sculpting stage, but that's really good combined with things like recon and party assets and disruption to an extent. And detachability itself, is not amazing, but it does factually help out witches, especially small witches, which are strength 3. Especially if you have a succubus squad, you get sus lethal, disembark, playing Sky Splinter, you have Lance. You're actually doing a decent amount of damage. It's helping a lot. Maybe not a lot. Lance is not the greatest thing. Lethal's not the greatest thing in the world in a lot of instances. But there you go. It does a lot. This attachment will be quite good as an add-on to things like Cartel, Sky Splinter, even Recon. Especially like Cartel, because Cartel, a lot of times you were incentivized and wanting to take Reavers and Hellions and like maybe a Witch Squad, and you got no value out of it. Now you do have a detachment that gives them rules. That's nice. Next is the Cabalite or Agonist. These words are ridiculous. Unique Cabal. Unique Witch Cult. That's listed at the top. That's fun. Let's say somewhere. They'll probably say in the MFM or whatever. Darkest Artifice. This one. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong one. This one is Blaze for Hire. Cabal units gain sus 1 in shooting against monsters vehicle. It's not the greatest attachment ability. It's not their main reason to take this detachment, but it's very good for, as I talked about earlier, the whatever his name is, Ravager. Gives him sus versus the things he wants to shoot at. He's less impacted by cover now, and his -1 to hit ability is better, so it's very good for the Ravager. Enhancements: Towering Arrogance, Archon mod only, Leadership, and OC. This is the same as an Cartel, mostly because these are all duplicates of the 3 original attachments, which is a little boring. That's fine, but it's fine. It's very good. Especially if you're thinking of taking a Core of the Archon, it makes them OC 4. That's of course spooky. OC 23 or whatever for the unit. Contempt for Rivals, Archon model only. This unit has precision. This is really fun, especially I made the precision video, so I think a Archon squad with something would be very good with this. Very exciting for that. All right, prioritize victim. The units, so Blaze Fire Cabal, when fighting character, you get reroll 1 to hit and wound. This is really, really, really good for anything, even Scourges. It gives them rerolls to wound in the shooting phase against like night things. If you have Haywire, I would not recommend Haywire. Anything outside Reaper's Wager though. Incubi in general, even Archon squads, with Malice and or Drazar, the whole squad reroll 1 to hit and wound against these targets. Very good. Like I said, this is against only characters, but those are a lot of things those units want to try and fight. Big beefy 10-man characters, things like that. Even Mandrakes to an extent, they have dev wound weapons. Both varieties. There's a lot of choices here. Very good. And potentially Scourges, if Melted Scourges are a thing, they're very good at helping you kill like elite infantry, with the real 1 to hit and wound, one-shotting elite infantry every time they shoot. That's also a nice thing to have. Any other unit is quite impactful on? Obviously not Cabalites, because they're going to reroll all hits and wounds anyways. Core of the Archon, with like the leaders, like anything with Malice really loves this, for instance. So, Malice would be, if she's with the Core of the Archon or Hand the Archon, I think it's called Hand Archon. She'll be sus, lethal, reroll 1 to hit and wound. That's really good. Potentially Lance if it's in Sky Splinter. It's a lot of spice there, to say the least. Shadow's Reach. Shooting phase when Blaze of Hard Cabal unit has shot, they can still be hidden. This is super niche. This would already be niche if it was another army, but this is Drukhari, where most things fire and fade or go back in Venoms. The only things I can think of this is potentially impactful is if Bolter, whatever they're called, Shard Carbine Scourges become a thing, you can actually maybe use their ability again. Okay. And then nichely gun Scourges in a spot where you can fire and fade, but your opponent can maybe toe in on the objective and still see you. But that's it, really. Killers from Dark Spires, last one. Cabalite Warriors unit, you gain an cover. This is fine. The only place that you really would want to use this is like in Real Space Raid. I guess Cartel to an extent, but Real Space Raid, you can't take this Cartel. So Real Space Raid, you're trying to do like a 10-man. You're trying to shoot stuff with all the buffs, blah, 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 all that jazz. And then you get a Norse cover. Sky Splinter gives you a Norse cover anyways, so there's no application there. But yeah, it's not a lot for this. If it was any unit, that'd be okay. You could potentially use it on Scourges. But alas, it's Cabalite Warrior. It's not even like Cabalite. So you can't even use it on like Fort and whatever. So I do like this attachment. It makes Ravagers really good. I really like the precision enhancement. And the real shad is really good for Incubi. It's something they really, really, really need and makes them do really good damage. So I really like this combined with Sky Splinter. I think the Witch one, which I like combined with anything. This one I really like with Sky Splinter. potentially real space, because your list and Sky Splitter and real space are going to be very similar, if not identical. Yeah, finally, Tools of Torment. This is the Talos Chronos detachment. You get the Coven ability. Chronos Talos get what we call transhuman. If the attack is greater than their toughness, you're -1 to wound. And you cannot be taken with the Coven. Gnarl Skin Experimenter. Homunculus model only, they get the detach ability. Homunculuses suck, Racks suck. So unless both of them get like probably even at a minimum of a 10-point decrease, if not more, they're just not going to be played. Because at what you're doing is you're just paying points to give them attachment ability. It's like, I don't even want to play the unit in the first place. Elixir of the Corpse Cart Quartz. Chronos Talos, this unit has a 5 mil save. This is nice if it's not expensive. You make Chronos Talos quite durable, especially if you have 3 squads. 3 up save, 5 mil save, 5 Fino Pain, playing real space, potentially -1 damage. A lot of things there. Very nice. Makes them nice and chunky. One thing I will say about Chronos Talos, though, they are slightly indirectly worse this edition, just by the baseline rules and how primary is scored. Unless you're playing Take and Hold, there is almost no primaries that require you to hold more than 1 objective. So the avenue of Talos Chronuses being nice 2-mans that can stand on point and be durable, the only thing in Army that can do that, it's not really needed as much. You're not playing, I'm randomly playing hand supplies, I'm randomly playing, Lynchpin and stuff. I need to hold multiple objectives. Or you know what primaries you're scoring, and you'll probably need to just hold a single objective. So they're not as important for that job. So it has nothing to do with them being worse, but just how the primaries and such of the game work. Next is Salting the Wound. Fight phase when a Chronos Talos is selected to fight, they get dev wounds against Battleshock units. This is the exact same strats as the Coven attachment, but it is 1 CP instead too. Taloses have twin links. They get 10 twin link attacks, so this is quite impactful on them. It's just like you need to fight a Battleshock unit, so niche, but it's very good when it comes up. Dividends of Agony. When a Homunculus Coven destroys a unit, take 1 enemy within 12, and they take a Battleshock at -1. If they're within 6 of your Homunculus, I think it's his range, it would be -2. Like I said, any Battleshock ability is technically better. I will stress once again, Battleshock is not actively that much better. In an 11th edition, it's slight more impact, but it's still going to be the same thing. If you're playing an RNG rule, you have no control over, and does about the same thing in 10th edition and just potentially lasts longer. Boom. All right. Urgent Metamorphosis. When a friendly Homunculus unit is selected to fall back, they can fall back and charge. This is good. The only one I can remember, the only place to get fallback and charge, is fallback, shoot, and charge, to be fair, was in Spectacle Spite. So now, which was actually a positive for Talos, this is actually a benefit for Talos if you play him in Spectacle Spite. I wouldn't recommend it, but for 10th edition terms. But generic fallback and charge for any Talos Homunculus, to be fair, it works on racks. Is very good. Nothing there to say. Like, this attachment is quite good. Real Space Raid, there's a lot of stonks here. Real Space Raid has some Battleshock interactions with its +1 hit and wound strat. Sorry, excuse me. And it's a little Battleshock enhancement that Homunculuses have. So very nice here. Like I said, I can definitely see Real Space Raid taking this. If it just wants to play priority assets, which is very likely. And just chilling around with its nice little Chronos style squads and saying what's up. All right, screw you, Reaper's Wager. Okay, no, not really. But we don't need to talk about it. Nothing changed there. All right, things have changed. We're gonna quickly go over it. All right, they're just telling you surge moves work. Just nothing really there. 8-inch deep strike. Telling us, okay, people were scared. Yes. Bury the lead. Both Venoms and Wraithwake Retreat let you re-embark. Our army is not broken. It is not dead, and our things have whole. We're chilling. Spectacle Spite. Here we go. Change to challenge met. Okay, this one is a big change, and it's a big rework, but I want to, to calm the people down. So challenge met has changed. Get rid of the old strat. New one. So your move phase, when an enemy falls back, you pick 1 unengaged witch cult unit within 6 of them, and you charge them. That's it. What's second? Let me see. So your opponent's move phase when an enemy unit falls back. One friendly things that declare charge on your unit. That is weird. It's just weird. That's weird. It's right after they make a fallback move, but you can technically charge anyone that made a fallback move. I don't know. So technically, if they fall back twice in one turn, you can wait. I don't understand. Yeah, if someone ends a fallback move within 6 Witch Coat, you can charge them. It's pretty much the exact opposite challengement with also a different range restriction. I don't know if this got changed to CP. It looks like it's still 2, which is kind of bad. Don't know there. I will say this is worse. This is a nerf. But of any army in the game, this is probably not the biggest nerf in the world because Spectacle Spite, due to its speed and how fast the army is, could tag an opponent's whole army in one turn without a lot of effort. But it was actually de-incentivized to tag an enemy because you couldn't challenge met things that were fell back. So now you can, try and do stuff like that. And um and still charge stuff. You can still combine this with still use a strat. So you're actually like more incentivized to tag things, which is what you want to be doing in the first place. So that is why it's not a complete, terrible nerf in all ways. And you can still combine this with things like Hellions. Hellions have the reactive move. Obviously, I think with timing, your opponent going to choose first. But like I said, if they have multiple fallbacks, stuff like that, things to think about. So it is worse. It is nerf, but it's not dead. And I don't think Spectral Spite would be dead at all. I think Spectral Spite would be amazing if it wasn't Purge. Razorwing Jetfire and Void Raven Bomber got changed to be new flyers. Hellions 8-inch reactive move. Lady Malice got changed to the new Vect of once per turn. Venoms got changed. The Venom did get slightly nerfed, so it lets you still re-embark, but you seemingly have to re-embark on the same transport you disembarked from, which is like not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something to think about. You can't just re-embark on some random Venom. And if you weren't, embarked at the beginning and transfer beginning turn anyways, you have no changes, so you don't have to worry about that. You can embark at any Venom. Yeah, that's it. Venom still work. Skyborn Sanctuary, that's Wraithright Defeat, not Skyborn Sanctuary, Wraithright Defeat still works. We have no changes, though the Real Space Raider Fire and Fade does not let you go back in transports if you disembark that turn. So think about that. Don't cheat with that. The 10-man cool Cavalites are worse. To be fair, you can just tow in terrain and just walk 6 inches away. It's you don't have to reembark. It's just this is a lot of words, but they're just rewording. They do the new bolding thing. It's the splitting and stuff exact same. Nothing changed there. They changed the Void Raven Bomber. And I see some people explaining about this, and I want to go into aircraft right now real quick. The Void Raven Bomber, its ability, because it wouldn't work currently, is at the end of your opponent's fight phase, select one visible enemy that is not low up with a 24, and essentially bomb them. Roll 1d6 for each enemy with a d6, and on 4 up, they take d6 mortals. So essentially very similar to Orks now, but it's end of your opponent's fight phase. Let's get into how aircraft work. Let's roll with the core rules. All right, so first, here's aircraft. First, I want to, bury something that people think you can do. You cannot rapid ingress aircraft anymore. So no, I'm just gonna save my where did the Drukhari thing? Save my Void Raven Bomber. I'm just gonna rapid ingress so it's nice and safe, and then boom, explode them, and then run away at the end of the fight phase. All right, so aircraft start in Strategic Reserve. They cannot move. That's it. An enemy can ignore them for all purposes. They can be engaged with them. They have no plunging fire. They can't be plunging fire, but they don't get plunging fire. And they cannot charge. So what you don't see with aircraft right now is the ability to ignore obscuring like they used to. So that's bad because they have the strat reserve. Ambiguously, I think maybe the Void Raven Bomber is too big. I don't think that's actually going to be a factor, but if you're bigger than 6 inches, you can't deploy. But I'm not going to imply that one's real, but something to think about. So you can't rapid ingress since you can't do cute things. You have to come in your phase and your opponent's whole shooting phase. So you have to live through their whole shooting phase to use this bomb. It's the end of their fight phase. And you come in strat reserve so they can block you off. They can try and angle you, like get the sides. And you can't see through terrain. If you can tow in it, seemingly they can tow into it unless there's an LS change somewhere up here. Let's check real quick. Okay, I went through it. I didn't see anything that terrain don't the aircraft can't at least tow in. So like the only benefits you can think of that you can hope for is on some of the boards, on a good amount of boards, they do have a piece near at least within 6 of the board edge, so you can strat reserve onto that piece. So as long as your opponent doesn't lock that out, which is the most easy thing in the world to do, they just have to be within 8 of the tiny little piece. You could potentially shoot through it. That's all you can hope for, because like I said, you come in your turn, you shoot, and then your opponent's turn, you're just sitting out in the open. You don't ignore obscuring like you used to. Like I said, they were still bad even when they ignored obscuring. So even though this ability looks cute, please don't be tricked by it unless the thing gets like unironically more than a 60-point decrease, because I would have to be less than 200 points to be like unironically playable. It's like 245 or something right now. And that's sad. But yeah, that's it. That's Drukhari. Some very exciting things here. Like I said, there's gonna be some very good attachments. I'm gonna be talking about them. Look forward to Friday. When I post that video. It's gonna be very surprising. I will say that for a lot of people. Some very interesting stuff that maybe you won't expect, and are cool. So this ends the Drukhari section. We're gonna go to Eldar next, and let's go. All right, friends, we continue with Eldar. Like I said, if anyways, remember I used to play Eldar a crap ton. Not really before this channel, but I played them all of last year's. I played a bunch of Ynnari. Not just because they're OP, because Ynnari is really fun, really cool. Until GW told me I wasn't allowed to play Ynnari anymore, and then I, played some Death Guard, then finally Drukhari. There you go. There's my endeavors of Warhammer last year. Cool. Eldar. New detachments. Armored Warhost. All right, Eldar vehicles of assault. This is fine. You have at will assault in any vehicle in your army, so it's not the greatest thing in the world. And Eldar just unironically doesn't have a lot of vehicles. You have like fire prisms. You have some like little dinky vehicles like Vipers and such, but you're not really a vehicle army. There's not a lot to choose from. And some other vehicles that you do have move really fast and have long range, like a fire prism. So they don't really need it. So like in mass, this is not the most useful thing in the world. That's why this is 1 DP. So Spearstone or Rayla, this is very simple. It turns a Psyker into a Tech Marine. They have blown up near a vehicle and they can heal one. This is very cute with like a Spirit Seer. And if you play as a Spirit, let's talk about the depositions. I'll talk about them real quick after they talk about this attachment. Spirit Seer and Spirit Conclave, because then he gets, blown up with anything, near a vehicle, near a Spirit guy, he can heal some stuff. And what's their faces are vehicles. No, they're monsters. I was talking about Wraith Lord. Yeah, they're walker monsters. I think it's the only one I've ever seen, really. Most are just monsters. That's kind of funny. All right, so yeah, sad. Can't do it. Can't heal your Wraith Lord. Whatever. Guiding Presence. Starting shooting phase, pick a vehicle within 6, and they get +1 hit for their turn. This is pretty decent if it's not expensive, like less than 20 points. It's just it's 6 inches, so and it's the good targeting. Like a lot of these are like Attack Marine, which is in the command phase and a 3-inch range. Not great. This is after your movement phase and has a longer range. Very nice. And it's like, quite impactful for the fire prism you're bringing. So there's that to think about, especially since that guy's getting a little screwed by cover now. Alrighty. Layered wards. Any phase when it suffers a mortal wound, they get a 5 against mortal wounds. This is pretty bad unless you're exclusively playing against the Fusillade Stern Guard brick and you take like 15 mortal wounds at once. It's 5 up is not good enough. The 4 up is already suspect unless you're taking a bunch of mortals en masse. But yeah. Alright, Soul Sight. Shooting phase when Eldar vehicle select to shoot. This is an old strat. Yeah, vehicle unit, you can reroll 1 hit wound and damage. This is not great because it's essentially just 3 CPU rolls glued together, and you might not even need to do it, especially on a fire prism, which doesn't even have random damage. It's just static 6 something like 6. It's just a reroll hit and wound. It's not good. It's like it's supposed to be for like a Wraith Knight, which also might be a monster too. Maybe that one's a vehicle, but still, there's just not a lot of things that need this. Like this is like a Bright Lance weapon, so like 1 CP to give like your walker a reroll hit wounded damage on their right lance. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Yeah, vectored engines. A vehicle fallback, they can fall back and shoot. This is like in Drukhari also, ironically, weirdly rare. Fallback and do stuff is not the most common thing in Eldar, and Drukhari, so this is actually quite helpful. Like, it kind of shit talk the attachability, but attachability is just generically a thing that exists all the time. It's just because Eldar doesn't take a lot of vehicles, it's not as impactful. So I don't think this attachment is bad. I don't think it's dreadful. I just don't think it's very good. It's obviously much better as 1 DP than the old pseudo 3 DPs that it was before. All right, let's go the depositions. So what do we got for 3 DPs? That's what matters. The only ones that are 3 DPs are Warhost, which is Purge. I don't even know why that one's Purge. That's weird. And Aspect Host, which is Disruption. Everything else is 2, or the new ones, which are 1. So keep that in mind. You can combine these with anything that's on Aspect Host or Warhost. So a lot of the biggest ones you're probably going to see are Spear Council. Serpent's Brood to get some more help with them. Even though you can only take 2 of these attachments, Serpent Broods. Guardian Battles, they can take everything. Coterie, there's one really cool there. They have a lot of attachments, a lot of combos, and even Windrider Host. Like Windrider Host was already kind of wanting to take Fire Prism, so this is a direct combo to an extent. Next is we're gonna wait for those to the end. We'll do those ones at the end because there's 2 Harlequin attachments. Path of the Outcast. This is the Shroud Runner Ranger attachment. When they shoot, they can target someone with +6 detection range. That's essentially what it says. So they have 21 baseline detection range against something they shoot. That's 2, I guess. It's nice for units that don't want to be close to the enemy like these, so that helps. All right, enhancements. Camouflage snipers and upgrade. So you can take both these are upgrades, so you can take them both multiple times. Ranger unit, this unit can shoot and still be hidden. I don't know. If you're trying to meme and play over Corsair and play like a 10-man Ranger with Corsair and still be hidden and stuff, it's fine. Yeah, that's about it. All right. Assassin Side. This one's actually very good. Shroudrunner Ranger unit. This range attacks that target a character have +1 AP. I'm going to go over why I think this is cool at the end. This is, +1 AP for Shroudrunners. They have 2 guns, remember? They get a sniper rifle, technically a pistol, and a shuriken thing. Scatter laser. That's what's called. All right. Cool. So that's good. Next is Eldritch Suppression. Your shooting phase when a Ranger type unit has shot. Select 1 enemy unit, you have those attacks. They take a battle shock test with -1 if a single model was destroyed. This is fine. It's very random. It's like take a battle shock test, maybe at -1. It works on anything, which is nice. Not much to say about this. It says what it says on the tin. Casting back the veil. Shooting phase when friendly Shadowrunner is shot. You pick an enemy hit by attack, and they have +6 detection range. This is nice. A lot of detection range we have seen are either 3 or 6 for just the unit, just like this. This just you shoot someone and your whole army has +6 detection range against that one unit. I'll say it's a decently impactful on Aeldari because they are weak and babies. So being able to not be as close to the enemy will be helpful. Nomads of the Hidden Way. Your shooting phase when friendly Ranger Shroudrunner has shot, you pick that unit and you make a normal move of D6. You cannot charge. This is quite good because it's just anything, especially with toe on terrain. Obviously, it's going to be hard to get a bunch of Shroudrunners touching a terrain piece because they have giant 60 mil bases. But like a 3-man, you can shoot, have everyone just an inch or less on the objective, shoot through it, and then run away after that. That's very good. Detachment, I think, is very good combined with Coterie. And I want to talk about why I think it's very good with Coterie. This is one of the, whatever that attachment's called, Corsair detachments they released recently that people don't really pay attention to too much. What's important, this one gives you a Vect style ability, Lord of the Sea, which is really good for, what's his face? Uriel. I love that guy. But this gives you anytime at the end of a phase when you move over an objective, you become sticky. So it's the best timing of sticky. And anytime your opponent tries to take injected back, they take mortal wounds. That's really annoying. But what's really impactful the Shroudrunners, though, is Outcast Outbush. This is also a Ranger output Shroudrunner attachment. So we're chilling. This doesn't have restriction, right? Yep. It gives 1 CP. You give so imagine a Shroudrunner. Let's go over a Shroudrunner real quick. So what they have is a scatter laser and a long rifle. So they get 1 sniper rifle and 1 6-shot, 5 attack little gun. So this gives them ignores cover, rapid fire 1, and armor penetration 1. So imagine you have a 6-man. 6-man, then you get 12 shots at 422. You get 7 times 6, 42 shots at 4511. This is all ignoring cover. Anything else? Is it +1 hit 2? Norse cover, and rapid fire and Norse cover +1 AP. Yep. So it's all Norse cover. And then if you have this upgrade on them, for unless it's an expensive amount of points, 3-mans, you just no reason not to. That's all +1 AP against characters. So this, now this becomes 12 shots at 422 ignored cover, and then with precision, and this becomes 7 shots. So that is 42 shots at 521 sustained hits ignores cover. And then they also strip cover from people. Remember, these things also scout, so they move 21 inches on turn 1. That's really fast and really cool. So that's a very nice damage unit. And then, obviously, if you use that strat, you can't do this. But potentially, if you don't need to use this strat, you can also fire and fade this big brick because the baseline they have damage increase, stuff like that. So that's really cool. Very excited for this attachment. All right, let's talk about the Harlequin stuff. This is less exciting. All right. Fateful Performance. This is like essentially a duplicate of the original Harlequin detachment, whatever that thing's called. Acrobatic Onslaught. When a friendly unit makes a charge move, they can move through enemy models. So you essentially gain slightly better fly in the charge phase. Fine. I don't know what else to say about that. It is the epitome of whatever. A very unimpactful ability that at least doesn't cost 3 DP anymore. All right, foot in the future. True Master, this unit can reroll charges. This is not 20 points. This is actually good because reroll charges are much better now. I've said this many times. You can't heroic and then reroll charges. You can use other strats to reroll charges. This is very nice. And you can just fail 2-inch charges now. They're not 2-inch charges. They're 3 technically. And that's why you can fail them. Mist Weaves. Calcier only. This island has Infiltrate. This is fine. It's, there's not a... Infiltrate is better this edition than was last edition. It's more impactful. There's more things you can do on turn 1 in early game. It already has Infiltrators, has Rangers, has Striking Scorpions. It's like they're not wanting for Infiltrators. They're like, damn, I really need an Infiltrate unit. You have, a really cheap option. So it's not the biggest thing in the world. But maybe if you really want to try and do a big Alpha Strike, this can be helpful. The Shadow Seer is also less impactful than it was before because you just can get hidden, which is more impactful than its Lone Up 18 style ability, which I think is what it did. I might be wrong there. Sorry. Let's get into the strats. 5-phase, Harlequin unit. That unit has a 4 of Fire and Death with the new birding of Fire and Death, which means you don't just instantly interrupt your opponent. You just you stay your model alive and you live until your unit activates, which is like a pseudo ghost model, and then you die. And your opponent's 5-phase, take a shade, pick unengaged Harlequin unit. You gain strategic reserve. Harlequins don't have deep strike, so this is really mostly impactful with the gun units, like the bikes and Void Reavers, I guess. I guess it transports. But like a normal troop squad, this is not really impactful. But the other things, it's quite nice. Decepted, Faint, your opponent's move phase. When enemy user enters the range of an unengaged Harlequin unit, Harlequin, you go D3+3. D3+3 active, very good. Very good for Harlequins. To be fair, you can already pseudo, like Shadow, whatever they're called, the transports, work the same as a Venom, where you can embark within 6 of them at the end of the 5-phase. So they're not like, fighting something and struggling out in the open. They can just hop in most times. This is very good, to run even just behind a wall, even if you're not near transport. Or, if you take the big Harlequin squad, you can potentially go back inside a whatever it's called, Wave Serpent, or, a small squad to go back into a Falcon to redo it. All right, and the last attachment, Twilight Flickers. This one I'm excited for to an extent. Harlequin units have stealth. That is most impactful on the bikes. Let's pull up the bikes right now. Skyweavers. These have -1 in both phases. So baseline in this detachment, your bikes are just -2 against shooting at all times. No ifs, ands, or buffs about it. You don't have to worry about it. This is also acrobatics. You can most likely not take with any Harlequin attachments. So that is really cool. This you can do cool things by combining it with Eldritch Raiders. Eldritch Raiders is the other Corsair attachment. Those strats are that important, but it has army-wide advance and charge as attach ability. So you can have a really cool, really weird Skyweaver list. Skyweavers, the issue is they are ungodly expensive. This unit is like 48 points a model, 48.5 points per model, I think. Which is or 47.5, something like that. Which is insane for a model that's 3 wounds at T4. That is a big issue, and its damage is not that good. It's got essentially a glorified power sword and a gun it can't advantage shoot and do anything with, which is always kind of an annoyingly issue with this. But it's really cool, advance and shoot at all times. They're also ironically one of the slowest Eldar things. They only move 14 when a lot of Eldar things move 16. I don't know why. I think they're the slowest Eldar bike, except for maybe Shining Spears. They might only move 14 too. But they should be the fastest because they're Harlequin stuff besides Drukhari. But it's really cool. I'm kind of talking the Skyweaver, but I'm just talking about the issues with Skyweavers, why they aren't too popular and impactful in the modern day. But -2 to hit all times is very good without any hoops to jump through. Like technically you can make a lot of infantry units -2 to hit, but like needing to be fully on terrain can be hard to an extent. But this doesn't have that issue. You just have it at all times. And like I said, with the Eldritch Trader, that's pretty cool. Advanced charge, pretty cool. All right, enhancements, Shadowfall Masses, upgrade, troop unit, they have fight first. Like I said, this would be really funny last edition, but this edition, not so funny. It's not that important. Prelude, Performer, Harlequin Model. This unit has Scout 6. This is good. If you're leading them, Scout is always good. So there you go. It could, give your transport scout. If you are a Wave Serpent squad or a Starweaver squad, you can go and scout on the transport. This is about dedicated transports. Passive Presage Rehearsal. Pick a troop unit, they get Lance. This strat sounds really good until you figure out what troops do. Troops at the beginning of the 5-phase pick 3 abilities. They either get rear ones to hit, Lance, or +1 to wound. It's something else. Let's go check. -1 to hit. That's the last one. So since they always have +1 to hit, it's not even Lance, so strictly better. +1 to wound, I mean. This strat essentially reads in most instances reroll 1s to hit or -1 to hit. And it's also when selected to fight, so you have to preemptively do the -1 to hit. You can't use it defensively. So, and I would say 99% of instances, the strat says 1 CP reroll once to hit, which is not a very impactful strat. It's much, it's not nearly as impactful. It's fine. You'll use it when it comes up, but you know, it looks better than it actually is, sadly. Captivating performance. Any room phase, pick a troop unit and use sticky injective. This is nice. Eldar doesn't actually have that much sticky. You have one Storm Guardian squad, which you don't actually want to use. And if you're trying to play actual Harlequins, you're not trying to take too much Eldar units, you don't have sticky. This is nice. Phantasmal Mirage. Shooting phase when a Harlequin's vehicle is shot, they can make a fire and fade of D6 inches. It's only Harlequin unit, so it's just Star Weavers and Void Reavers specifically. But you can do the thing of touch 1 inch onto it and run D6 behind, so you're guaranteed to be behind the trampies. So these style units rules are much better than they were in 10th edition. All right, those are all the wonderful attachments. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Let's quickly go over the changes. Sadly, there's a lot of these, but since these are all old, so we're going to quickly go through all of them. Adrenaline Maneuver's the same. Skyguard Sanctuary the same. I would say actually one engagement that was able to fight. Yep, it is the exact same. And they also don't have this chat actually got nerfed again because they. I'm sorry, it's actually kind of funny. It doesn't have the codifier where you can embark in a transport that you disembarked from. That as we saw the Venom and Wraith-like retreat got. Sorry, I got the hiccups. So this train actually got a nerf again. It didn't get direct nerf, we got core rule change, but damn. I think they could have unnerfed this strat and it wouldn't be too impactful because you knew what had to have been preemptively on the ground already to use it. But yeah, the strat's like so unusable now. All right, Yunari the same nerfs as they were. 8-inch reactive rolls. This is just changing to what it was before. 1 second, let me try and get rid of my hiccup. All right, I'm back from hiccup land. My kitty has joined. Look at that. Look at Zelda. But yeah, let's continue. Got where I left off. Like I said, Breath of All not changed. Shroud Truth. This one got accidentally nerfed, which is really funny. This is the teleport strat for Tier Council, where you pick a unit with a 9 and you deep strike them. You just go uppy downy. It teleports on there. They actually changed it to an 8-inch target instead of like 8-inch deep strike away. So it still has the 9-inch deep strike away thing. And but it requires you to be with an 8. So this is obviously a mistake, and we're not going to count that, but that's kind of funny. Spirits are the same, just got 8-inch thing. Nothing really there. Fire and Fade is still the same nerf, correct. Skyborn Sanctuary is the same as his other attachment. Wind Rider Host, any review phase is the same. This is the same. Aspect Host the same. Azerman the same. Did not also get a codifier, so Aspect Azerman also got another nerf. Technically, sadly, he cannot Fire and Fade in transport now because he didn't get a codifier. Void Reavers are whatever the same. Falcon is the same. It's the same. Rangers are the same. Just changed to 8. They added the codifier of the Star Weaver like the Venom that it can embark on something that disembarked this turn. So cool. Plane's got the plane stuff. Waste Serpent is the same. Warlock Conclave. They just fixed it. Still works as it does now. You can still attach Warlock Conclaves. One thing we were maybe thinking of, I don't know if anyone else, but maybe it's like Warlock Conclave would just become a support and not an actual like weird joiner as it does now, which would mean you couldn't join a Warlock Conclave with also a Warlock, which you can. We're good. Nothing really to complain about there. Yvrain is the same. Venom is the same as in Drukhari. This is the same. Yeah, they said they had the Warlock got core instead of leader. And FAQs. There we go. There's Aeldari. There's a couple of interesting thing here. Some nerfs, but Drukhari, Aeldari is interesting for someone's position. So we got to think about like one good thing to think about. Armored Warhost is a 1 DP recon, which is crazy. Same thing Path of the Outcast. I can see Drukhari, or sorry, Eldar, and any of these attachments talked about. Just take these and mostly ignore the rules, or Armored Warhost technically has rules, so it's not that impactful. Just to take recon, because run is kind of what Eldar wants to do in a lot of ways. It definitely wants to be playing recon or probably party assets with a little bit of disruption. It definitely does not want to be playing purge or taken hold. So that's good for them. They have good avenues to get a good deposition without a lot of work. So that is great. Probably Flicker is taking hold, which is crazy though. All right, next. Sorry, God. My hiccups aren't going. Tyranids, another army that I love. You know, Vanguard man over here. Went undefeated at Tacoma. The last two Tacoma, the two Tacomas ago with a Vanguard when I got a first buff a while ago. Very excited. Very excited to see some Vanguard Lictors and Vanguard Warriors to an extent. All right, everyone. Tyrannid stuff. First, the Tyranid Bioform Warrior Onslaught. This is very similar to the other one. If you ever pay attention to it, probably didn't because no one did. This is Tyranid units, both the characters and warriors and stuff. Balanced around those. It is the melee, the infantry guys, the non-characters gain the warrior tag, I guess, in battle line. And then every Tyranid warrior thing gains a 5 level save. There we go. So a prime, either version of the foot or winged prime. This is an enhancement of elevated might. Is probably one of the best damaging enhancements to gain. This thing is ridiculous. Model weapon only. This modeled weapon to have reroll wounds and +1 AP. And remember, if you're also in a melee squad, you have reroll 1 stat. So this guy, he has 8 attacks at 4-3-1. 5-3-1, twin linked, and then either 6 attacks at 7-3-2 twin linked, right? Twin linked, right? Yes. Or 4 attacks at 9-3-3 twin linked. So he's got 8 of these plus 1 of these. With rear 1 hit, sustained hits, fully to wound, and +1 AP. That is ridiculous. This guy does an ungodly amount of damage baseline with that enhancement. So that is really, really cool if you put him with Tyranid Warriors. It's still he's fine. He doesn't have the real 1 hit, but he still hits really hard. It's more common to put him with Hormagaunts nowadays. A lot of people like taking like 3 guys with 3 Hormagaunts and such. This man is goddamn 6 bad points. Cool. Second one, Ocular Adaptation. Wing Prime, Normal Prime. This unit, melee weapons have also it. This is also very good. Makes I'm just going to talk about melee ones, but it makes melee warriors hit on 2s with reroll 1 stat. And then they have 6 attacks at 6-2-1 twin linked. They're very good at killing things. So both these are really good. I would take both of these with no effort if they're not both 30 points. Even this one's 30 points. I might think about it because it's so ridiculous. Alien Physiology. Shooting phase, after they shoot a warrior, they gain what we call transhuman, which is if attacks that our strength is greater than your toughness have -1 to wound. Very good for Tyranid warriors. They now have 5 will save 2, so quite durable. You know, T5, 3 wounds, 5 will save, now -1 to wound. Very good, because you can play this in any attachment. Synaptic Micronobes. And your movement phase, God. Pick a Tyranid warrior unit, and you have sticky. So you secure an objective. Very good. Tyranids also don't have the most sticky in the world. I don't even know what unit does sticky in Tyranids. Do they have one baseline? Not Hormagaunts. Not Termagants, I don't think. I don't think they do. Parasitic Payload. Tyranid warrior shot. They gain ignores cover and shooting phase. This is fine. It means that your shooting warriors won't hit on 5s at least, because for some reason the shooting ones hit on 4s. I don't know why. It's weird. But yeah, that is kind of fine. This attachment overall for 1 DP is very good. There's a lot in here that I like, and it'll save both the enhancements. This strat and this one is fine. Very good for 1 DP. I don't think I went over the depositions to do that real quick. Tyranids. So the 3 DPs are, to no surprise if you pay attention, is Invasion Fleet and Subterranean Assault. Those were very obviously 3 DP. I think it was a little sad. You know, maybe we could hope Subterranean was 2, but like, yeah, it was always gonna be 2. 3 at Effectual Army. It's like the best attachment. But we have a lot of combos with things like Synaptic Nexic, Unending Swarm to an extent, Simulation Swarm, buying these new detachments. Another thing that's cool is Norns are taken hold. So you can get a taken hold if you want it for 1 DP anywhere you need it. Norns also, that is kind of what they want to be doing, is standing on midfield objectives and standing there, which is exactly what taken hold wants to do. So very good for Norns so they can get there. Otherwise, Vanguard is Recon, which is exactly what Vanguard wants to be doing. You know, it directly combos with the Lictor attachment. So you can do exactly Lictor, it's called Ambush Predators, Lictors plus Warrior Vanguard, and have a really good combination. There's also, you know, Warriors haven't played a lot of times as a Vanguard, so potentially we can talk about Winged Prime Warriors coming back to Vanguard. Obviously, you don't really want to play Take and Hold, but, you know, it gives you a nice little high damage units. You know, you have those Ravagers of Genius to an extent, but Warriors are a niche that they're the best against, like, the massive damage things. Like, refraining Catan Warriors are much better than Ravagers, for instance. So that's quite good. Lots of things to think about here. They have a very normal suite of detachment force depositions. They're very unsurprisingly mostly like things like disruption and take and hold. Kind of fits the Tyranids style with a little bit of everything else strewn about. I'm surprised there's only one purge though, due to Tyranids being an army that just kills things. I feel like they would be kind of like like Drukhari is like a purge army. It's kind of weird. I guess maybe a balancing feature not to give them just purge because maybe that's what they want to be doing. Next is get out of here. Oh, we just skipped the other ones. Sorry. All right, ambush predators. All right, let's go. This Lictor attachment. This is my attachment. This is cool, guys. This one you've seen attachment ability and work on, but it is Lictor units gain deep strike, and then specifically not Death Leap for some reason. Lictors, Neurolictors against characters get real 1-6. That's fine. The deep strike is really good because Lictors are they freely rapid ingress. So it's very good to have deep strike. They're a very efficient, just random unit. They're also annoying. They're T6, 6 wounds. Have lone op, potential lone op 6 if you play Vanguard. Lots of good things here. All right, enhancements. Encircling Horror is one of the units. Lictors, Votanns, and Neurolictors. If any moves in 8 inches of you, you can make a reactive move with D3+3. This is amazing, especially if you combine this with Vanguard, because like I said, your lone op units, so a Lictor or a Neurolictor, can use a lone op 6 strat. So that is really good. You can also take it with Von Ryans to potentially set up the heroic, because they do duplicate and free heroic. So it's really good with them. Next is Cryptophatic Camouflage. Von Ryans, I get -3 detection range. This is also really good. It means you can get Von Ryans to get 12 or 9 inch hidden. That makes them really annoying and really hard to deal with. Like if you're on the edge of an objective, the other side of the objective is not even within 9 of you. Your opponent has to get closer. So pretty cool. Really good. I like both these enhancements. Like I said, unless this is like 30 points each, I think you're just going to take 3 Encircling Horror Lictors of your variety of whatever unit you upgrade. And then maybe whatever, you might take a different enhancement, or you might take 1 Cryptophatic Camouflage if you're spending that much on enhancements. But I like this all around. All right, counter predatation. One of the Lictor style units in the detachment, they get +1 strength and AP when fighting a hidden unit. So what's interesting about hidden unit is a unit is hidden if they're just in cover and they didn't shoot. So even if you have models outside the cover, the unit itself is hidden. It's just those models aren't. So there's more avenues to use this thing than maybe not was thought about. But at the surface, this really impacts every one of these units. By the way, it gets Lictors to strength 8 baseline or strength 9 if you are in Synapse, and then get them to AP3. And Von Ryans especially, it gets them up to that strength 6 or strength 7, but AP2 most importantly. It means Von Ryans can actually kill things when they really couldn't before, except the smallest things in the world. That's really important. All right, hypersensory adaptations. Starting phase, 1 Lictor style unit, pick a visible enemy within 12. That unit gets +6 detection range. So it's one of those better version detection range that it lasts the whole phase. This is, nice because you don't have to shoot or anything. You just pick a random dude within 12. You're good to go. This is also the units that want to get close to you. It's not like I dove a vehicle at you and now you have better detection range. No, it's just the unit wants to run at you anyways. It's kind of impactful there. Very helpful. Tyranids don't have the most shooting in the world. They have just a couple, big monsters, and that's about it. You don't really have any small shooting, but it's good to, potentially snipe something out with a Malceptor. Because it gets the Malceptor, he just gets his gun within range because it's an 18-inch gun. So then if you're hidden, you're going to be within 18 anyways. Or even an Exocrane if you're doing something like that. Like if you're playing, Vanguard, I don't think you're going to be playing too much, if any, guns. But this is, one of the better styles of shot strats anyways. All right, finally, Scanner Geist, however you pronounce it. And your phone's 5 phase, pick a Lictor unit, besides Von Ryans though. And you place them in strat reserve. It's very good. They have deep strike, they get a free rapid. So you can go back and save a turn and rapid for free. Really, really, really good for a unit with deep strike, lone op, and rapid ingress for free. This also, you can combine it with Vanguard to up and down 3 Vanguard Invader units in a turn. Oh my god, that's pretty good. This is really, really good. This detachment is so good. It will be like the epitome of the AFK scoring army. You can't do nothing about it. It's going to score 80 to 100 points. Screw you. Because things like Biovore still do things like engage, stuff like that. You have a bunch of fast units that have lone op or lone op 6 and do good damage, like Raveners and G-Seers are very good. One issue, it's not the biggest issue that I'll think about, is Raveners used to be flexible. they were very good because you could either lead them or not lead them depending on the matchup, because their leader ability didn't require them to lead, so they were always just cool. But now you have to pre-call it in the list building stage, so you can't just say, okay, I'm gonna have 6 Ravener squads, or I'm gonna have 3 big Ravener squads. You got to preemptively do it, which is a little sad. That is a slight decrease to stonks, but very excited overall as a Vanguard Onslaught lover. All right, Talons of the Norn King. This is for your Norn people, crazy men. Like, seen the attachability, Norns can switch their objective once per game. That's what it does. Okay, pretty cute. It's helpful. It's less impactful in 11th edition than was 10th edition because objectives are so big. I think a Norn can, on a lot of objectives, stay on 2 objectives anyways. All right, enhancements. Disabling Predatation. Norn Emissary, this range attacks have anti-character 2 up. This sounds really good until you figure out he doesn't actually have a lot of guns. It's got like a 2-shot melt gun. It's got like a shitty blast gun. It's got like a flamer. It's like it's fine. If this is like 10 points, you might take 3 of them if you're playing Norn Emissaries only. All right, and finally, Synaptoprescience. All right, Norn Assimilator, this gives it the 4-pinal save. This is very good if it's not expensive. That's the biggest issue of the Norn Assimilator, and also it costs more than the Emissary for some reason. They gave the Norn Assimilator the Harvester keyword a while ago, which means you can play him in Assimilation Swarm. And Assimilation Swarm has, if you're on an objective, you can get a 5 up Feel No Pain. If you're a Harvester, you get a 4 up Feel No Pain. So you can have a Norn Assimilator with a 2 up save, 4 up pain, will save 4 up Feel No Pain. Obviously requires CP, requires CP on objective. But that's pretty spooky. Norn Assimilator is also the only monster that can like kill things in melee. It does have a good melee weapon. It's got his little, stabby thingies. It's little harpoons. It's a good melee weapon. Plus its little claws. Combined with maybe the strat. So that is a nice thing to think about. Assimilation Swarm plus this. And like I said, the biggest issue Assimilation Swarm would be priority assets. I don't think you want to do that too often unless you're playing like a couple big monsters, a lot of MSU. Assimilation Storm likes to do like big Tyrant Guard squads and like big Pyre Wars and stuff. It doesn't really want to do small squads too often. But you can take this and take Taken Hold, which I think is what Assimilation Storm would want to do. So big benefits actually for Assimilation Swarm. Catalytic Biofortification. Pick a Norn Assimilator, and they get the 4 Feel No Pain against mortal wounds that Norn Emissaries have baseline. This is nice when it comes up. Like I said, it's really only good against a mass amount of mortal wounds if you're taking like 5 or more. Otherwise, you're not really being efficient. Lesser Prey. 5 phase or Norn Assimilator or Norn Emissary fights, they get +2 strength. Remember, I think this is essentially +3 strength. So it gets those Norn units to the strength 12 baseline. So it makes them be able to kill, normal things. So that is good. Obviously, very good. The Norn Assimilator and such, because they got the better weapons. But that means they won't whiff in combat, which is nice. Tangled Strike rounds. Your shooting phase when an Assimilator specifically is shot. This one is the Assimilator attack. Only one strike can be used on Emissary. It's weird. All right, select one unit hit by those attacks, and they have -2 to move when they're tethered. It's fine. His gun is low range, so you're not like sniping it across the battlefield and going, ha. Yeah, this is good. This will be very, like I said, this is, I would think, mostly good for like Harvester or just trying to get Taken Hold wherever you can find it. All right, and let's look. Oh, we already looked at it. I was like, did I eat that in accidentally? Let's look at the upgrades real quick. Oh, that's funny. I forgot the Warrior dude was in here. We could just look at his state sheet here instead of on Wikipedia. Shadows of Warp, no real changes there. Synapse, no real changes there. Nothing really here for Assimilation Swarm. This is just changing how the Heroic Intervention works now, where it's not free, it's -1 CP. Pressure Stampede changed the same thing. The Run Through Wall Strat, the same thing. Just AOC style ability, and this multitude changing 8-inch reactive moves. This is also, some people had the assumption, oh, maybe they're going to FAQ every reactive move to be D3+3. They're not. That's probably going to be what every reactive move in the future is going to be, but they're not going back to preemptively or whatever change reactive moves. So the Hypersensitivity Cilia for Vanguard Onslaught is 2 CP. 2 Vanguard Onslaught units get to reactive move 6. So now that is, it's obviously nerfed because 8-inch range, but whatever. Technically nerfed, but that's just how reactive moves work now. It's still 6. We're good there. Just telling you how Neural Node works with redeploys and stuff. Spore Mines. They technically got buffed because they have the agency strike now, but whatever. That's just the game. Same, nothing there, nothing there. Harpies got changed as like the Void Raven Bomber did. They now just pick someone within 24 and bomb it. It's fine. They forgot about I was making fun about the Talon plane thing for Dark Angels. They just forgot it. That thing has a bomb. So they'll probably re-update it later, but that is funny. Here just telling you all these things. Like I said, Norn Assimilator got the Harvester later. Psychophage rework. Swarmlord is changed to the current Vect updates. Spore Mines, Subterranean Assault. Also, this got a nerf, technically, because they didn't update 6-inch deep strike abilities to a 5-inch range. So now all 6-inch deep strike abilities are now essentially a 7-inch charge. Votann and Ravens got changed to the how heroic interventions work. And really, that's about it. I don't think any of these are really new. That matters. Still telling you don't have to actually surge move. If it says may up to, you can still move 0 inches if you want. I think if you do move, you do have to move as close as possible. But it seems like you can just not move though still. All right, there's Tyranids. A lot of exciting things there. Like I said, Vanguard Boy, very exciting. If you're a Harvester / Assimilation Storm, very exciting. Or even Crusher Stampede plus Norns, all exciting for those style of games. So let's get to the next one, which is going to be Necrons. All right, people, you know I'm not like the biggest Necron player in the world. I did go to that stupid event with playing stupid Necrons because the event was cursed. But I do love one specific attachment for Necrons, which is Cursed Legion. And here, there is a really good detachment for Cursed Legion. I'm very excited to talk about it. At first, is Hand of the Dynasty. This attachment is surprisingly really good. This is unique Dynasty. Oh, 1 second. Let's go to Necrons. Oh, they're at the bottom. Here we go. The 3 DP to very little surprise is Awakened Dynasty. Drop a Cork, though, which is maybe not in Star Shatter. These are all, I think, very obviously, maybe Coptic Court, but Awakened Dynasty, Star Shatter are obviously going to be 3. They're just the best attachments. Coptic Court, I can understand why. It'd actually be a very good combination with like one of these attachments. Let's get rid of that. But Hypercrypt not being 3 is very interesting. It's also Recon, which is kind of what Hypercrypt wants to do. So Hypercrypt plus something else could be very good. A Bestian Phalanx, which is, I think, very good on the surface, also gets combined with some of these. So lots of things to think about. So the things that are most exciting is Cursed Legion, the biggest one. Cryptic Conclave, kind of, but it only has 1 combo, which technically it has a direct combo with just taking. So Cryptic Conclave, I'll tell you what it does, is you pick Cryptic units to get buffs. One of them is Anti-Infantry 3 up, and you have 1 CP. You can pick a unit and turn a model into a Cryptek for all intents and purposes. And Tomb Blades have a D6 Dev Wound gun. So you can take a 6-man Tomb Blade squad with their D6 Dev Wound gun and give it Anti-Infantry 3 up and go pew 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 and kill a bunch of infantry models. So there's that is a direct combo with Tomb Blades, and there's a freaking Tomb Blade attachment here. So I don't know, that's actually a direct combo. The things that are exciting is anything that's with Cursed Legion, anything with Hypercrypt, and anything with a Bestian's Phalanx. Fuck you, Pantheon. Well, no one cares about you. Even though why this one should have stayed 3 EP just so people wouldn't play it. Maybe they'll increase the price of Catan again. Hopefully. Because it is Purge the Foe, which is what 5 Catan want to be doing. So that is maybe scary and something we ought to be worried about. I don't like that. Yeah, those are the exciting things to think about. And we'll see if the Cryptic Conclave can add more buffs to the funny little Tomb Blades. So Hand of the Dynasty, this is why these attachment things are weird. It says attachability is Dynasty attack, not going to take it with a Dynasty attachment. The one that is Dynasty is 3 DP, so I don't understand. Whatever. Immortals and Warriors and Immortals get Assault. That's just a fine buff. And they can advance in action. So that is both good buffs, especially for 1 DP. And this gives you Take an Hold. Okay, so Take an Hold and Recon is what you get from here. Primary assets, whatever. It's like fine. But these are like kind of maybe important to think about. Cursed Legion is also importantly Percival, which is what Cursed Legion would want to do. Advancements in Livent Sentinels. Upgrade Necromorgans gain Scout. If this is not 30 points, if you take any amount of warriors, this is a warrior attachment, you're going to take this 3 times. It's really, really, really good. Tools of Dominion, and I'm pretty sure you can use it on Ghost Arc. And the Ghost Arc's the only one that's dedicated transfer. Tools of Dominion. Immortals unit, this unit has rapid fire. This is also good. It gets you 30 shots with the pew 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 gun. 30 shots either way. I think they're both 2 shots. So if you want to give your unit plus 10 shots if you're within half range, there you go. It also works on your character, I guess, though the characters aren't very good. It would combo. You can this is funny. You can put it with a Overlord and give him the Trachian arrow and give him rapid fire. His gun's also like 80-inch range, so it's like always rapid fire. Just double his shots. It's once per game. That's fun. That's a fun little combo. All right, Dominion's protocols. Pick a mortal unit and get +1 OC. I think Immortals are OC2. It used to be Battle Line. I think they're still Battle Line. I don't play much Immortals. This is fine. It's either command phase, and it's just an immortal unit with no restrictions. Usually those strats say, well, in combat, or someone's command phase. It has no restrictions. That's just a good enough strat when it comes up. Will the Conqueror. Mend your moon phase, pick a Mortals Warrior, seeking objective. Necrons don't have a lot of sticky. They actually have 1 unit, which is Brazen, I think. So that's also good. Sticky is less important unless you're playing Take and Hold, and then Sticky can be useful than it was last edition. That's pretty much everything that isn't Take and Hold says hold one objective outside your easy. That's all you have to do. It's not the most important thing in the world. And also, sticking your home field and leaving is actively bad now because your opponent, there's rules for taking your opponent's home field that there wasn't really before. Like there's a capture any outpost is back now. It's renamed something else, but essentially capture any outpost, or a lot of the missions have things for stealing home field primaries. Nano saturation. A shooting phase when an enemy unit has shot a mortal or a warrior unit, and you get a shoot back with snap shooting. This is like awful. Because it's after they shot, so you get to essentially overwatch an enemy with an immortal or a warrior, and after they shot and lost a bunch of wounds. This is pretty garbage, pretty stinky. That's it. This is a pretty just efficiently good 1 DP. There's like nothing bad here. This is pretty bad, but nothing like actively. This makes me suck. And there's everything here. Most of the things here are quite good. Like all the enhancements are good. The attachment is good. These strats are good. This is what Take and Hold. Doesn't really care about actioning too much unless you combine it with something else, like a recon or party assets or disruption. Sky Scroud Spearhead. This is technically the Tomb Blade detachment. This is actually the Locust Destroyer detachment. All right, Cursed Legion fanboy over here. We're going to keep talking about this. Transdimensional deployment. Tomb Blades have Deep Strike, and after they ingress, they get plus 1 to it. This is good. This is very good in that. To be fair, Tomb Blades are really fast and has Fire and Fade. So actually, if you Deep Strike and can't Fire and Fade, so kind of nerf there because it's a full Fire and Fade, so you go really far. Might be 6. I don't think it is 6 though. And Two Blades also a fly that might be slightly one of the more impacted units by the fly change. But they get plus 1 hit when they do it. But this is directly combos with the Cryptic Conclaves, you know, the 3-up anti-infantry dev wounds. They also have Blast, which allows D6 essentially. You can, I'd imagine it's most times it's D6 plus 1 shot or D6 plus 2 shots. Now they might hit on 2s with anti-infantry 3-up. That's kind of spooky. Recursive Reanimation 2-Blade unit. When they reanimate, plus 1 to roll, it's fine. I don't know. Tomb Blades are never living. It's T4, 2 wounds with a bad save. You're like, the whole unit's going to die almost every time they fight. All right. Dampening Matrix. Destroyer Cult mounted unit. That one is literally Destroyer Cult. It's not even just mounted. Unit has Assault. Yes. Locust Destroyers. You can also put on Heavy Destroyers if you want. Locust Destroyers. Now they can assault and shoot people without needing a strat. That's so good. And Locust Destroyers are probably one of the most impacted units in the game by the toe-in change because they are giant, not slow, but not fast. They move 8-inch mounted on 60 mils, so they were pretty hard to get good spots. But now they can like toe in, get they don't get cover that way, sadly, or they don't get hover either. I mean, hidden because they're mounted. Little sad parts there, but they can toe and shoot, and be safe. This is also a combination with the character change for Necron. So like if you wipe the whole destroyer Locust Destroyer squad, you can resurrect them with their Lord, who's behind a wall, safe. You'll resurrect the D3 wounds back, and then he can orb to bring back D6 more. They start bringing the whole squad back really quickly. That's really good. But giving them assault is really good. So this is really nice. Omni-locked strafing. Your movement phase when a mounted unit makes fallback move, you get a fallback and shoot. Very good for Locusts because they also get buffs for shooting the closest target. So you just fall back 2 inches, shoot them in their stupid little face. All right, Swift as Death. Your opponent's move phase when enemy unit ends a move with an 8 of a mounted unit. That mounted unit makes a normal move at D3 plus 3. So now your Locusts get to make a reactive move with D3 plus 3. That's also really good. It's really, really good. And it's all mounted, so like heavies and stuff. Think about all those things. Or the Tomb Blades, whatever. Evasive Protocols. Your opponent's shooting phase when enemy unit targets a mounted unit, you get essentially what we said, transhuman. Strength is greater than higher, -1 to wound. They are T6 with 3 wounds. They're not the easiest thing in the world to kill. That's your opponent shooting them with like, I don't know, Forge Fiend. Strength 12 Forge Fiend. Or Bastor. But now they're super durable. You know, everything in here, these are all just, you know, rules for Locust Destroyers. This one is specifically Locust Destroyers. Well, any destroyer. This is so good for Cursed Legion. Like I said, I love the Locust unit in Cursed Legion. Cursed Legion made it the most wonky because there wasn't a lot of movement there. They just shot incredibly hard with lethal, at-will sustained, strength 7, reroll hits most of the time, or just reroll once a hit at least. Crits on 5s. But now you can assault. Now you can reactive move. You're more durable. All that crap. You can fall back and shoot. It's just really, really good. This makes me excited to try out more Cursed Legion. Like I said, Cursed Legion wants to play Purge of Foe, and that's what you get. You don't have to worry about it. But like I said, this also just gives you recon anywhere you want it. So if you want to play recon, got it right there. All right, finally, the Farron's Armory. This statue's also really weirdly funny. Unique hypercrypt. Can't take it without hypercrypt. This is rarity assets. Titanic fly units, which I think is the obelisk and the monolith. I don't think anything else does. Have +6 movement. That's really fucking hilarious. I think they move 8 baseline, but it just says they move 14. Potentially can advance because it's not just auto advance 6, it's just +6 movement. You go really fast. And you cannot be taken with hypercrypt. All right, pre-location optimizer. Necron model unit. When you selected to shoot, if they were set up using the Eternity Gate this turn, you get lethal sustained. This is fine. Well, there's not a lot of cute combos. You can't like, get a locust led infantry squad. The best you're doing is like 10 immortals or 10 warriors and giving him sus or lethal. And most of their weapons have lethal anyways. The Tesla don't. They have sustains, so it's giving them lethals and stuff like that. Morality Shroud. Upgrade for an obelisk. You could take 3 of these. All right. In your opponent's battle shock step, any units with an 8 that were both starting strength have to take a battle shock. So it makes them spooky. That's funny. All right. And then so you get some really good strats here. Subsurface Quantum Weave. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase when they target a Titanic and essentially gains armor contempt. -1 AP to their guns. So your 2-up save, T13. I don't know if the obelisk T13, but the monolith is T13 model. The 2-up save, like 24 wounds, now has essentially a 1-up armor save with new cover. So they're getting hit on 4s or 5s. That's pretty durable. I played against like 3 monoliths 2 weeks ago or whatever at the Wyoming team event. I talked about it in the video with my defilers. Even defilers are like, this is kind of annoying. Particle Pulse. You're starting shooting phase, pick a vehicle. When I'm a unit within 12 units, the unit is +3 detection range. See, this is like the bad version detection range. Like this is struggle worse, say the second one. It's fine. They have deep strike anyways, and now they have toe in terrain, so they don't really need it. It's not really helping your Titanic too much. It's whatever. I don't really care. Cosmic Storm. Shooting phase when obelisk or Tesla vault is selected to shoot. That obelisk or Tesla vault, the Tesla spears have +1 AP. That's really impacted for 2 reasons. One, they're not cucked by cover anymore, and 2, their gun is like 21st shots with sustain 2. It's pretty good. It's a lot of shooting. This detachment combines very good with Obesian's Phalanx. Obesian Phalanx gives you -1 damage for any vehicle. So obviously you can't combine the AOC and the -1 damage together, but you can do them together. And maybe you want to take a monolith or a T-Vault anyways, and T-Vault even more because T-Vault was like the worst unit in the game at movement because it just got stuck. It couldn't move over anything. It was too slow, and now it just... Oh, the T-Vault might be Titanic too. I assume it is because Strat calls it out. I'm not going to check, but it probably is. Now that dude can just go mini fast inches and advance, and maybe not advance shoot, but advance still. There we go. Yeah. Detachment's cool. Pretty fun. All right, let's go to the core changes, see if there's anything interesting. One thing I have to say is these pictures are microwaved. What the heck happened to Nightbringer? This one's also zoomed in really weird. Thank you, sir. No, what happened? These pictures are funny. All right, anything changes? I think I see. Yeah, 8-inch thing. Anything matter? Why don't they do the changes? This is so annoying. Me having to look. Just that's a normal. Adding framed everything. Doom Scythe. Night Scythe. This one. Okay, here it is. This one's a real change. The Night Scythe became a real transport. It's probably one of the best transports in the game now because that works. So it is now just a normal 14-inch moving flying transport that doesn't cost a lot of points. And it got the Venom style ability. Its ability is you can turn one in reserve with it if you want, which is cool. But you can also just deploy it on the ground and be a fast transport because it also has cover, so you can go wee really fast through anything. But its ability is you can disembark from it, and at the end of the fight phase, you can absorb yourself back into it's got the Venom ability. But its ability is it transports any infantry unit for Necrons. Sorry if that was a little loud. Any infantry unit for Necrons. Which means in Cursed Legion, you can... Normally, it's just like, I'm going to get some Lich Guard, some Immortals, whatever. You do a Race Squad if you want. It's really fun. You put a Race Squad on it if you let it with Technomancers as an infantry squad. In Cursed Legion, you can... I don't think this is the best use of it, but it's a really interesting idea. Cursed Legion has enhancement Murder Mind, where you make a Cryptech unit, so one of them can still its enhancement, be able to lead a destroyer cult of any variety and adds +3-inch movement. So you can lead it with a Plasmancer, whatever crypt tech gives you the 5-up crit spec. But if you count, your unit becomes infantry at that point. So it means you can go in the monolith. Your monolith, goes 14 inches. You disembark 3 from its hull because it's a whole vehicle too. What do they call it? Frame. It's a frame vehicle. Disembark 3 forward. Shoot someone really hard with the locust, especially if you play the new locust detachment. You get all the locust buffs. And then get absorbed back inside. That's really cool because you also just have your thing behind, your transport behind a wall, and all the locusts just tow in and shoot. That's really exciting. I got to think about that. There's gonna be a lot of Cursed Legion things to think about now. But yeah, the Night Scythe is quite interesting now, to say the least. Planter Answer, nothing will change there. Silent King, nothing changed there. 8-inch reserves and stuff to these things. They added support to all the cryptex. No solo cryptex anymore if you were one of the crazy people doing like a solo geomancer. Sorry, you've been banned. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Their supports have to be led. Crypto thralls. Okay. Anything here? Was that when you accomplish does the model that have to follow the rules to have large models? Yes. Sweet. When you're using this one, I've been, I don't know, cheated, but I've gotten a tier. I've had a couple people get this wrong about me. Locusts. When using locusts or rerolls, you also need to be eligible for reroll ones to hit to get the full rerolls. The answer is yes. The ability for a locust is when shooting the closest target, reroll ones to hit. And if your target's on objective, 4 rerolls to hit. A lot of people read it as if I just shoot anyone on objective, not even the closest target, I get 4 rerolls to hit. No, the answer is you have to also be the closest target and they have to be on objective to get 4 rerolls. You can't just cheese it. Anything here? Nothing. This is literally outright saying you cannot turn 1 Deep Strike. If you use return to the battlefield using the Hyperkip Legion Hyperphase Attach ability, has Deep Strike ability, can reserve from the reserve on the first battle run. No. Turn 1 Deep Strike is literally dead unless you specifically have a rule saying you can come in on turn 1. You can't, there's no like up and down turn 1 because you're getting around it with reserves. Deep Strike, that is gone, which I vastly prefer if I hated turn 1 Deep Strike with like up and down. It made going second for these style armies way better. Yeah, if you react to move, you can use the Ray Form ability. That's cute. Here, this one. This one, I'm going to guess what I think it writes because it reads really weird. The rules that activate Reanimator protocols only apply to a bodyguard unit whose attached leader is on the battlefield if one or more models in the bodyguard unit is also on the battlefield. So I think it means you can't... What? I don't know. This one's really hard to read. If someone in the comments can explain this to me, please. Okay, the rules that activate Reanimator will only apply to a bodyguard unit whose attached leader is on the battlefield if one or more of those models are on the battlefield. So I think it means you can't reanimate. You can't use like secondary reanimations if like your unit dies. Like I don't think it says you can't use like a strat to reanimate if your unit is dead to try and reanimate models, but I don't know. If someone could explain that would be great. You cannot use more than one resurrection orbiter. Okay, cool. There's Necrons. Some exciting things here. I know a lot of people hate Necrons right now. We're not talking about Catan here. We're talking about Cursed Legion and one of the coolest attachments of the game. We're about punching people with crazy, schizophrenic, destroyer cult people. And I love that. And that's cool. I love Scorps. I have many Scorps that I got at the tournament. They got them for like half price, which is cool. Like past MSRP was like 50% new on Sprue. I never got to fully build them because I kind of was sad for Necrons after that event. I just want to play them again. All right, cool. Next will be Orks, another army I kind of like. All right, friends, we continue with the Orks. 3 DPs. What do we got? Is it just Warhorde? Oh, God. Ugh. I don't want people to play Bully Boys. I know you guys might think Bully Boys is my preferred playstyle, but Megadoffs have 2 attacks, and I fucking hate that. I don't like Bully Boys. It's incredibly boring. It doesn't do anything except be durable. It doesn't kill anything. Its strats are all garbage. But it's like really, like, can be an annoying stat check. It is. It's also Purge. If Purge and Take the Foe and Take and Hold is exactly what Bully Boys want to be doing. To no surprise, I think it's the most purges I've seen. 1, 2, 3. No, it has one more than Drukhari, but to be fair, Drukhari has half the amount of detachments. It's kind of funny. I think if Drukhari had the same amount of detachments as like other armies, it would be the most purge army. But yeah, Bully Boys purge 2 DP. That's kind of scary if any of the combinations here are good. But other than that, like I said, the only thing is Warhordes 3. We don't have to worry about that. There's a lot of cool combos like Cult of Speed or Speedwall at 2. Really good. Speedwall also just recon. Very nice there. I love me some Big Hunt. And Freebooter Crew is actually quite good. So think of those. We're talking about combos. And the 1DPs give you Purge for Mordaka. Priority assets for Def Rolling, whatever. And Tactical Brigade gives you Disruption. Boom. Oops. Get out of here, Necrons. We're done with you. We're on the Orks now. This is the Battle Wagon detachment. This is all about battle wagons and rigs. Kill rigs and hunter rigs. All right, so reroll charges, and they auto advance 6. It is very funny, especially during the WAD turn. Your battle wagons just go out Mach 5. I think they only move 10 though. But that is still quite fast, and especially now, monsters and vehicles can move through enemy models. Just can't engage in range. You could just like zoom through them. Only for movement in advances though. Advancing in normal moves. All right, upgrade boarding ramps. Wagon unit, you upgrade the wagon itself. When enemy unit disembarks, they get +1 charge. This is better than it sounds. +1 charge things are fine, but this, since you were upgrading the wagon and not the unit inside, that means you can multiply reuse this ability. You can have but also it just means multiple units. Like you can put like 4 or 5 units in one wagon, and they all get +1 charge, and then things zoom back in. And you do it again to get a bunch of things +1 charge. Very nice. Guardian Gizmo. This is also an upgrade for a wagon. This is a funny one. While Big Mac is embarked on this unit has been recover and sustained 1. This combos with, I think it's Speedwall that has it. It's Speedwall or Cult of Speed. I think it's Speedwall. One of them. I'm gonna say it's Speedwall. Has an enhancement for when a mech hits donks a vehicle. It gives the vehicle also hit obviously, but also gives it rapid fire to all its guns. A battle wagon has a firing deck of 12. So this is very similar to the if you remember many moons ago, maybe a year by now, the last cannon Predators from Spaceballs had rapid fire and had, turned its 3-shot gun into like 7 shots. Very funny. Now you can do that with the battle wagon, put like 2 squads of tank busters inside, give them all rapid fire. Now you have the big mechs inside with sustained hits. So I think shock attack guns are not big mechs. I think they're just shock attack gun with big mech. I don't think they actually have the big mech keyword. So I can't really use it on that. No, never mind. So you just give every gun sustained hits. Sorry. So you have every gun gets ignores cover. Very good. Now you're not hitting on. You're going to be hitting on 4s or 3s every time. Unless someone has an actual nice with it. You're going to have all sustained hits while you have WA. You just have a big mech embarked. Okay, that's good. It doesn't mean the big mech's shooting. So that's very interesting. You could just have like 2 squads of tank busters inside, both with shock attack guns. And then you can shoot 2 shock attack guns and 10 tank busters, and everything has rapid fire, everything has sustained hits, everything has north cover. That's a lot. I'll say that. All right, brutal broadside. Shooting phase when the battle wagon select to shoot the battle wagon unit. Its non-firing deck guns gain rapid fire. Battle wagon has a good amount of shots, but most of them are rapid fire anyways. Rapid fire equal to its attack, so it doubles their attacks instead of just being rapid fire. Like, so it's got like 5 big shooters. It's got like a lava. It's got like a cannon and stuff. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but if you're already ignoring cover from the targeting gizmos, you actually make it hit things. You need to be hitting on 4s or 3s. Impending crunch. Your charge phase when a wagon unit ends a charge move. Everyone engaged in range takes battle shock -1. This is good. It's one of the better ones. A lot of times these strats are pick 1 enemy unit or everyone takes a battle shock. This is combined of both. To be fair, it's restricted to 3 data sheets, but it is nice enough. Devastating drift. Your fight phase in a wagon unit makes a charge when selected to fight. That wagon unit has cleave 1. This is not great, but a wagon does have 3 melee weapons. It's got its whatever it's called. It's roller. It's got a claw. It's got its spiky ball. So it's got 3 weapons. So against a 5-man, it's +3 attacks. Against a 10-man, it's +6 attacks. Against a 15-man, it's +9 attacks. It's not nothing. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's not nothing. Mordaka. This was reworked from a 3DP, Mark Perry's favorite attachment of all time, to a 1DP. Probably more impactful 1DP now. Running the Orc infantry, you have assault at all times. That's nice. And the WA, the Orc infantries have sustained hits in shooting. Both those are nice. Like I said, this is most impactful for flash kits. I think have sustained hits. But like Ludas have sustained hits, I think, also. New boys for like the 2 weeks will use this before the codex comes out. They all have shooters and tank busters, really. And then their leaders. Dead shiny shooters is an upgrade for infantry units. They gain rapid fire 1, or if it already has rapid fire, it gains another rapid fire. This is obviously very good on tank busters. There you go. You're gonna, unless it's a million points, you're gonna take this on every single Tankbuster squad. Yeah, now they're rapid fire, sustained hits, and have assault, and they're probably hitting on fours because they're shooting anything they want. To be fair, they might be getting. That's just a North cover here. There is right there. They might be hitting on fives against tanks and monsters because of cover, but this will fix that issue. The Gobshot Thunderblast infantry model only has dev wounds and hazardous. This is not very good, but I don't know what to tell you. A model with a low amount of attacks, you're going to get 0 to 1 dev wounds usually, and then you're also maybe going to whack your unit. I don't know. It's cute, but I like that you're going to take this a lot more. Like this is just nice, and like it also upgrades rapid fire, so you can even take this on Ludus to get more rapid fire. So it's not, it's just this is good. Or even freebooters, tank busters, whatever they're called. Not freebooters, whatever those guys are called. The pirates. Shooting phase when orc infantry units select this fight. Shoot, they gain Norse cover. I said that's very helpful, especially for orc units and tank busters. Special cells, shells. Taking an orc infantry unit, they get plus they get plus 1 AP within 9. This is very good on all these units, especially the freebooter guys, because they're AP 1, so they go to 622. That's a very good number. I think it's strength 6. Tank busters go to AP 3 or AP 4 within 9 inches. That's really good for, especially if you have a dead shoddy shooter squad. You come up within 9 inches. Maybe they don't have cover because you're so close, but you're like disembarking from transport. You pop your rocket thingy, whatever the hell it's called. It gives you plus 1 strength and AP. You pop this strat to get another plus 1 AP, and then you're like, here's like 43 plus 6 shots or 7 shots because you have one little pistol too. With sustained hits at AP 4, damage 3 plus 1 to wound, strength 10. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Call that DACA. Your opponent shooting phase an M unit as targeted friendly infantry unit. After they shot the infantry unit, they have snap shooting. They get to snap shoot them. This is really, really awful. This is like a worse version of the Necron strat because you hit on fucking 5s and 6s. This strat's really bad, and your units are also made of paper. Your most durable unit is a 4-up safe with 2 wounds. So not the most impactful thing. Overall, this detachment is really, really good if you want to do shooting orcs, infantry, orcs. Be excited. Tactical Brigade. Also, one thing I didn't talk about it. A Dreadbob 2DP. Yeah, that is the vehicle shooting detachment. You can play this one. You can do the combo I talked about in Dreadmob. Think about it. Obviously, that one doesn't really buff vehicles too much, but you're wanting to take mechs there in the first place. Finally, Tactical Brigade, another remade one. This one is really good. What's its deposition? Tactical Brigade is disruption. So if you can really play this one in like Speedwa or Blitz Brigade, you can play like one of the best like AFK scoring like armies ever. Because you can take 6 Stormboy squads. They don't become battle. They do. So you can take 6 Stormboy squads, 3 commandos and split them up. And then that is 12 advanced in action units. Really good. Stormboys also fly. And they're also not expensive. They're orc models. So, Tactical Brigade. Listen here. Friendly Stormboys have battle line. And when a friendly boys commando Stormboys is advanced, they can advance in actions. So like I said, if you can play Recon, already access to extent. Recon has more actions. It's really good. Mork's Cunning. Orc model. When they have deployed, you can redeploy 3 orc unit. Yep. That's all it does. That's fine. Especially if you have a bunch of commandos blocking off a bunch of spots and redeploying in good spots. Cool. Slippery Git. Infantry Warboss only model. He has infiltrate and stealth. Can't be a mega armor. It's also used to let him lead commandos. He doesn't have that anymore, so it's like, I don't know, what's the point of the infiltrate? Unless you're like making him solo. And it's also this model, so it doesn't affect his unit with stealth. This is pretty bad. I don't really want a solo Warboss. Not doing anything. I don't know. This is bad. All right, tactical retreat. When a Stormboy or commando is set to fall back, you can still fall back and charge. Good. Orcs don't usually have fall back and charge. It's very rare. On to the next. End your opponent's movement phase. Pick a unengaged unit that was engaged. So if someone fall back from you, you can use a strat. It's the end of the move phase, and then you can remove 6. That's nice because you can run back in transport. You can run behind a wall very easily. You can steal objective. 6-inch move is very good. All right, dead, sneaky. End your opponent's fight phase. Pick a commando or Stormboy, and then go into reserve. So this attachment is really, really good for like support in actions and stuff. Like I said, 6 squads of Stormboys and like 3 squads of commandos lets you get 12 units that all infiltrate and advance, and they all action and blah blah. And commandos can't even Overwatch, so they're amazing for just running at action, saying, "I'm gonna go do that action. You can't stop me." That's really good. Really good detachments here. Very exciting. Oh, Speedball have it? Ah, it is Speedball. Here's what I'm talking about. This is Dakamic. Mech unit only. Each time the bear uses mechanic ability. So the next man range weapons collected by the vehicle have rapid fire, which works with a firing deck. And also, Speed Freaks is better now because you can actually go 24 inches in a straight line for, you know, at least whatever the hell they're called. The Flyboys. F Coptus, that's the name. With the new fly changes. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Skip all this crap real quick, and boom, any new changes to orcs that matter was the same. Yep. Bully Boys thing is the same. AOC thing is the same. Nothing new change here. Nothing changes the big hunt. This is really funny. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the hazardous change because you're taking hazardous on 1s, 2s, and 3s. Like almost 50% of the time, you're gonna be taking 3 mortal wounds for each gun you have. Very spooky. Maybe you don't hit the button every turn now. Maybe uh you just randomly roll because all 3 buffs are pretty good. All right, Titan Muscle. Cool. Yeah. Surge move. Mob Mentality. Nothing there. Yep. Adding frame to thing. Changing how flamers work. Oh, did they forget? Let me see if they forgot. They might have forgot the freaking Blitzabomb and the Burner Bomber. Tank busters are the same for the squigs. Battle wagons are the same with Gazcool. They at least kept him updated. They didn't forget, like they forgot with the freaking Imperial Primarchs, where they can't go through walls anymore. Yeah, this double heroic. This is actually more importantly, Beast Bone Squig War, not the greatest thing in the world, but heroic is way better now. So this guy, think about him. Big Mech. Yay. Oh, they remembered the Blitzabomber. So what's nice? Did they remember the Burner Bomber? Does the Burner Bomber not bomb things anymore? Let me check. The Burner Bomber still burns. So, I mean, still bombs. So we got to remember. So Blitzabomber got changed to the normal bomb. So that's fine. Okay, they updated Snickrod, actually gave him real ability. Look at that. Look at that. I think this is the first time I've seen like a unit that has like stealth at all times and like an ability about it, like actually get updated. Most of them they said, just screw you. You're gonna have smoke and stealth and you're gonna like it. And you're like, man, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, actually, that's fine. The commandos now have a 3-up save against range attacks, and nice one to hit. Ooh, he got changed. Okay, Snickrod. So finding infiltrator once per battle. In your move phase, the unit is unengaged. Use ability if you do, placing unit strat reserve. And the unit has deep strike until the end of phase. So it is glorified the same. I don't know if there was any context, but essentially lets him uppy downy himself and deploy himself at the end of the phase. I don't know. It looks the same to me. Oh, they did update the Burner Bomber. Okay, then if you're unit phase, yeah, it's the same. Okay, so poor Dog Talon, the only bomb they've forgotten so far. Maybe they'll update it soon. Def Dread the same. Gaz cool. Normal stuff here. Don't really see anything crazy. Yeah. Man, as you're control one or more of these units. Starting movement phase. Roll 1d6 for each ejected market control. Okay, so okay, they're the same. Okay, kill rigs are the same. These are the same. Okay, this is the same. Okay, so they updated these. They just changed it to snap shooting, not Overwatch. At the add new patrol section at the start of the quarter battle. 17. Okay. Okay, thank God. So they actually said how the bomb squid works. People are like, oh, maybe get 2 bomb squid. I think they fact it later, but like, on the fuck on people. You didn't double your bomb squids. Cool. Making knobs the same. Okay, it's the same. Same. No, my ward check was support. Sad. That was kind of cool. I don't know why they got rid of that. Weird boy. Technically a buff. Not really. Models really, when you call the wall, the models are bargaining transport. So yes, I'm using. Okay. No. I don't know. Oh, okay. It's saying you always gonna make a move. Okay. Okay. Cool. There's orcs. It's some exciting stuff there for the Orky boys. Very cool. All right, next we're gonna go into um, one army I'm decently familiar with. I actually went to a big Leagues of Votann stint last year for a while until I figured out that I had the issues. But then two armies, you know, I know Tau, but I don't play the army. So we're not going to spend too much time on those because I just don't. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. If I don't know, I don't know. All right, Votann. All right, friendos, Votann times. We got the depositions. Anything interesting? So what they have for 3DP is only Hearthband. That one is funny. That one is obviously the most balanced reasons because technically Hearthband affects your army minorly, but it's mostly for Terminators. But all the other ones that affect your army are too. This is really strange, including Need Guard. I think Need Guard is the only like index attachment we've seen so far. That's Real Space Raid. To be fair, that got totally reworked and is nothing like the index. That is 2, most of them are 3. But everything here is 2DP except for Earthband. And things what Votann probably wants to do is probably lots of purge or priority assets. Not purge, they're actually not that good at killing things. Take and hold, priority assets. That's kind of the style that Votann likes to play. So that's what you're looking for. Recon maybe, depending how wide you can make your list do. A bunch of cappers, carriers with their little dudes inside. And a bunch of small bikes can do recon quite well. But I think priority and take and hold is really the good style for the Votann boys. So let's keep that in mind. Like I said, you can combine these with anything except the ones that specifically have their own restriction, except Earthband. All right, so here we go. Armor Trailblazers. It's the Sagittar attachment they showed on Morcom. Sagittars get Scout 6. This is really good. Scout is not how they explained it. They just said it wrong. Scout is you can start in Strat Reserve when you do the pre-deployment step, and at the end of the deployment, so like when you normally do Scouts, ironically, like Scout moves, you can just put yourself in your deployment zone. So it's like a pseudo redeploy, kind of. It's quite good. If you think your Scout move won't be impactful, this is probably just better. All right, enhancements, saturation rounds is an upgrade, so you can take multiple Sagittar unit gains, ignore cover. This is fine. Sagittar doesn't have a lot of shots. It's essentially like a twin link bolter plus a las cannon. You could potentially think of going like the missile launcher stuff. I've seen a lot of people do that because you get 2 guns, just to get more value out of this. If it's cheap, it's good. They don't have like firing deck, I don't think, or anything, so it's not. You're not getting value out of that. Optimize attack line. Sagittar unit. This unit has mobile. This is probably better. Mobile gets you the move through wall thing, and I think it doesn't make you take -2 to move it. And Sagittars let you advance and dismark, so you can go quite far. Coordinate crossfire 1 CP. Sagittar unit. Select one enemy unit. These range attacks. Target enemy unit have real ones to hit, real ones to wound. It's 2 Sagittars, so it's quite good. So shooting phase, you have to pre-call it kind of. But real ones to hit and wound is a very good strat, and 2 units, very good. Just Sagittar doesn't like have a lot of damage. It's 2 las cannons. Might be a 2-shot las cannon on top, the high las beam cannon or whatever, and some little bolters. So it's not the most impactful thing in the world, but it's nice, I will say. Outflanking armor, end your opponent's move phase. It's like 2 Sagittars, and they ingress. So what this does is let you rapid ingress 2 Sagittars at the same time. That's cool. You could rapid ingress 3 units at once. I don't think this army has any duplicate rapid ingress, but you could just do that. That's very good for mobility. Built to last. Your opponent's shooting phase with enemy unit targets friendly Sagittar, and you essentially get what we say transhuman. Strength is greater, toughness -1 to wound. So this is all around. Everything in here is good. Like nothing here is like game breaking, but this obviously combines directly with Brand Fast, I think is what it is. Yes, Brand Fast, which is the card attachment. This is a card attachment and doesn't have a restriction. So easy duplicate combo. One is a transport card attachment. This is a transport card attachment for Sagittars. There you go. There's not a lot of good units you can put Sagittars. This is the biggest issue. They can hold like 2 Thunderkin. They can hold some Berserkers. And some normal Hearth guys. Not any unit of real value is kind of the biggest issue. All right. Our Seekers. This is the Hernkin detachment, which is Pioneers. I'm pretty sure the little cars, the Kappa Carriers, have the Hernkin keyword, but I'm not 100% sure. And then like the Hernkin Jaegers. So Hernkins have +1 to hit within 12. This is sadly +1 to hit and not +1 BS, so it doesn't combo with your detachment ability, which gives you +1 to hit. So you can't be +2 to hit, but it is nice for the if you are shooting things like outside objective range, shooting things close by. You're not worrying about objectives, you know. It makes Pioneers a quite nice little Doom Star. They're hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. That's quite good amount of damage, and they're not screwed over by low AP into cover nowadays. All All right, pan spectral lock-ons upgrade for a pioneer's unit. In shooting phase, pick one visible with the 12. They get 3 detection range. This is way better than the strats, I'll say that, and I think way better than that whole detachment ability. I think this is probably the best version of that we've seen, but it's like, it's not the best thing in the world. Shroud Rike, Talisman's upgrade. Jaeger's unit has minus 3 detection. This is way better. And also, since it's Jaegers and they split, you can have 6 Jaegers with this. 6 Jaegers. It's not a single model either, it's a whole unit. So that's really good. You can have 9 Jaegers, 6 Jaeger squads with minus 3. And this is the recon one, right? It is. That plays recon very well. You have 6 Jaeger squads with like a 12 or a 9-inch hidden. It's really good for doing stuff. All right, score and furrow analysis. Pick a Hurricane unit in your shooting phase. Select one unit within 12. That leagues, all leagues of Votann have ignores cover. That is really, really good. So you pick a Hurricane, so the Pioneer, maybe the Carriers or the Jaegers, and some within 12 of them. And you just, boom, you have ignore cover now. That's just really good. Especially Votann, like I said, they have shit BS. They're actually one of the most impacted by modifiers. Obviously, some of their good units, like the Lion Fortress, can ignore mods, and they luckily can ignore BS mods too. But this just means you're not going to be screwed at all. And it definitely means those reroll ones to hit ability, which I prefer to ignores cover in most instances. Maybe not in the modern ignores cover, at least last edition. They also now just getting value. They're, ignores cover and rerolling at all times. No shot wasted. When a Hearthkin unit is like to shoot, they get lethal hits. This is good on a 6-man Pioneer, and that's about it. But it's very good there. Economy of motion. Your opponent's shooting phase, when someone ends move with an 8 of an unengaged Pioneer unit, you make it a move a D3 plus 3. So this is mostly for the bikes. Potentially for the... I'm just going to check right now because I keep saying it. All right. Pioneers. Oh, these are Pioneers. Let's look at the Hurricane. What is Hurricane? Cavalry's Defenders and Carriers. And the Defenders are actually better this edition because they have the shitty fire and fade. But now they can just tow onto a terrain piece 1 inch and then fire fade 1 inch backwards. That is more impactful. This unit, I think, is actually better, much better than it was before. It's actually kind of impactful. But no, the both Kappa Carriers are Hurnkin, so that is very good for the Carriers. So that means a Carrier. Oh, it's a Pioneer only. What the fuck? I didn't even notice that. It might just be this unit. Yeah, it's the only Pioneer. Okay, so I read the strat wrong, but do say everything else is Hurnkin that we said that both versions of cars, the Jaegers, and Pioneers. And so this strat is if someone moves within range 8 inches of Pioneer, you can make a D3 plus 3 reactive. That's very good. This attachment is very good. It gives you a very good deposition if you want to play that style. Like I said, that's a very specific style, which is running recon, but recon's very good if you can make it work. And everything here is good. Attachability is good. This Shreed Rake Talisman is really good. This strat can be good. This strat is very good. And this strat is very good. This is just all around strong stuff. Finally, the Hearthguard Covenant. This is another one that says unique to Hearthguard, but can't be taken because 3 DP. Technically, if you play 3k points, whatever. All right, this is the other Hearthguard attachment. This is essentially just ghetto Hearthband. It says call champions and Hearthguard style units gain reroll 1s to wound against the closest target. So this currently is just all ranged weapons get reroll 1s to wound against all targets, I'm pretty sure, and then you have +1 to wound in if you're also these units. So the rerolls become restricted, and the AP loses, but it's still, if you're a Hearthguard unit, you are reroll 1s to hit and wound most of the time, and it's 1 DP. So that's pretty impactful for 1 DP. All right, High Call gives your unit a 4 Fire and Death with the new wording of how Fire and Death works, which is very good. I prefer this fighting. Like I said, especially say something for CSM, like currently you can't Dark Pact for Fire and Death, but this would let you. You can't use strats to Fire and Death, but this would let you. Iron Skeen or Skyne. All model has +2 moons. Whatever. It doesn't. Who cares? All right, this is literally just Hearthband. What the heck? Breaking Knots. It does like all the same rules. Your opponent's shooting phase, when they fight a Hearthguard unit, you get a 4 invulnerable save. It's good because they don't have. They can kind of have a 5 invulnerable save, but they don't really have an invulnerable save baseline because you deep strike them. But it gives them an invulnerable save and makes them not as made of paper. Fury of the Hearth. This is the exact same. Is this the exact same detachment? This is the exact same detachment. But to be fair, it's most of the good rules from the detachment, except the AP. So, all right, your shooting phase, when a Hearthguard unit is selected to shoot, you get +1 strength. And if you spend a hit point, you get sus hits. It's very good because you have plasma guns, which are strength 7. They go up to strength 8. They don't have sustained hits. They get sustained. They become stained. And then a call gives you lethal hits. So the lethal sustained. And then the grenades. The grenades go up to strength 4. Then they get sustained lethals. Blah, blah. Importantly, you're losing the AP, which made you do a lot of damage both these, but you don't have that anymore. And finally, material station matrices. Jesus Christ. It lets you 6 in Steep Strike and you can't charge. That's it. It's good. It's good because these are a shooting unit. They're terrible at melee. They have like 2 attacks. So attachment's very good. Nothing in here is bad. Everything here is slightly impactful. These aren't the most. The high call is fine. Yeah, this is very good. This combines very good with Need Guard, which likes playing Hearthguard anyways. Mercenary Out of Band, which is generically very good attachment. And finally, even Brandfast for extent if you're trying to transport the little boyos. All right, let's get to the rules. Nothing a lot of here. Our Brandfast, so they re-nerfed the transport. You can't re-embark your transport anymore, or whatever. So yeah. So what I said, I played I was in a little Votann stint. This is when the Votann codex was coming out. I was really into sword robots, whatever they're called, and in Brandfest, because then you could essentially land raider your land raider, because you could embark, run forward whatever inches, disembark and charge people. Can't do that anymore. You still can't do it, so that's a little sad. Need Bard, same thing for the armor attempt thing. 8-inch reactives, telling you how surge moves work. Land fortresses. They hold 14 rank now. I don't know. 14 is a weird number. I guess so. We can put a 6-man extra frame plus a character. Jaeger's the same. Telling you reactive moves work. Just telling you have -1 heroic works. That char's the same. Adding frame to those models. Nothing else. Votann's really small. All right, that's it. Votann, nice and short, nice and easy. All right, and we got the 2 that are being the quickest. Now, my least favorite army. Alrighty, depositions for the Tau. So the only one that's 3 is Monka. Everything else is 2. It's good. They also don't have. They only. That's funny. I forgot they stole 2 of their detachments, which is really funny because as you see, they only have 4 baseline detachments now. Ooh, but Ret Cadre, very good as 2. Crew, fine as 2. Payun, good as 2. And you combine it with one of these. So we got a recon active, very nice. They do have everything. Jesus Christ, they have no detachments now. Disruption, Treasure Cadre. Taking old's what crew want to do. That's good. Priority assets. Okay. Tau. Advanced Acquisition Cadre is the stealth one. This one is fine. Stealth suits Pathfinders can shoot and still be hidden. I don't know. None of these guys have long range anyway, so it's not going to save them. None of them is Pathfinders technically shoot. Their ion guns got mostly buffed because you don't have to kill the ion guys anymore. Too fair, you're taking more mortal wounds than you used to do. But you don't have to kill the ion guns anymore. But whatever. Negation emitters. Cell suits have -3 detection range. This is great. You're going to take this for every cell suit, most likely. And this is incredibly expensive. Really good. Especially since cell suits really need to be visible to mark things. So they can't just hide behind walls. I'm asking sweet. Ghost Skill Pathfinder cell suits. When selected shoot, you can select an enemy with a 9. The unit has +9 detection range until this unit has shot. Read that last part. This unit gets +9 detection range. So you get 24-inch range shooting, which matches this ability, or nichely 21. That's fine. You might take it on a Ghost Skill, but it's large. Kind of fun. I think it's sadly, I think this is after you choose marker. I'm not 100% sure. That's kind of weird. You probably prefer the greater good people marking people, but if it lets you get +9 to your for the greater good range, that's very impactful. Marker Beacon, Pathfinder stealth suit team, they get sticky. This is fine. It's worse due to sticky being 1 less important. 2, you have a very good stickier, which is Kroot, and even more better in 11th edition because in a lot of these boards you can sticky 2 objectives with 1 Kroot dude on turn 1. So Kroot are even better. But I won't say a sticky strat is bad. Micro drone support. Sticky is just less useful in 11th edition. So micro drone support, your shooting phase when Pathfinder stealth suits starts an action, you can action and shoot. It's the same thing. It's these things you shoot and be hidden. You can action and be hidden. It's I don't care. It's nice this is combined so you can be hidden, shoot, and do an action at the same time. It's kind of cute. But I don't care. Why do you want to shoot these guys? Why do you want to spend a CP to action and shoot some freaking stealth suits? You don't. Auto reactive camouflage. It's essentially better AOC. When someone shoots a Pathfinder stealth suits, they get +1 save. Essentially, it's a game of stealth suits to 2 up save. That's mediumly impactful. It's fine. This attachment is kind of dookie. It gives you recon though, which is actually the best part about it. And this is the actual best part about negation emitters. It is the only way to play recon as Tau, which is kind of weird. It definitely seems like something Tau would be decently good at. It's a very wide MSU style army. You know, it has big like riptides and price suits, but it's like, here's a bunch of Pathfinders, a bunch of stealth suits, here's a bunch of piranhas, here's a bunch of Kroot, blah, 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 all that shit, a bunch of random blown ups. So it like kind of fits the recon play style. It probably fits the priority assets the most in a lot of ways. Auxiliary Cadre. The Kroot detachment has been killed. The remake for this one is really bad, sadly. All right, Kroot Vespid gives people +3 texture range within 12. You know, there's a lot of words, but it says you can make people +3 texture range. That is fine. 1 DP. And the friendly Ghost Kill stealth suits have the following ability: while friendly Kroot style units are within 6 of them, they can shoot and still be hidden. There isn't like these things don't even shoot. Kroot shoot like a mediumly okay gun that hits on 4s, and Kroot or Vespids do, and Kroot like don't have any guns, so like this doesn't mean anything. It's an auxiliary attachment, so you can't take it with Kroot hunting back. Student of Kayun, Kroot Shaper units. You can deep strike 3 carnivores or farsighters. This is good. That's all I have to say about it. It's a good ability. Especially since one of the Kroot units, it might be this guy, has a free strat ability, so you get rapid ingress for free. Mighty Leader, Tal unit only. In your command phase, select one Kroot or Vespid unit. You give them leadership and OC. This is decently good. Like you can use it to steal objectives, or you can go, keep your objective easier. This one's not bad, but it's like you have to take it in the first place. It's not terrible. I'm not gonna say this one's bad. This one's fine. All right, experience. So both these enhancements are good to fine. All right, so let's see if this strats help the detachment. Experimental modifications. Pick a Kroot or Vespid unit in the shooting or 5 phase. You get +1 AP. This is very, very good on Kroot Rampagers. They have a lot of AP1 attacks. In shooting otherwise, none of these shoot very hard. So it's really good for Kroot Rampagers and melee. Alien expertise. Pick a Kroot or Vespid style unit that has advanced, and you can advance charge. Also, very good for Kroot Rampagers. Kroot Rampagers are ironically probably besides for having Scout, the slowest unit in 40k, because they are a 7-inch moving mounted unit. Because at least 7-inch moving monsters like Taos and Cronuses can move through enemies. Mounted can't. They don't fly either, so they can't move through walls. I like an advanced charge. That's really good. Guided by unit. Your shooting phase when a Tau Empire unit, besides Kroot style units, is like to shoot. Units attacks within 9 of a Kroot Vespid have lethal hits. So a bunch of hoops to get lethal hits. Lethal hits is fine. It's not like great. Like it's very good on a broadside unit if you can get an enemy within 9 of you. If you want to play this detachment like some Kroot Rampagers and some broadsides, that's probably the best way to do it. As someone who doesn't play Tau but has played against Tau a bunch of times, like especially in like Retaliation Cadre or Kayun. Think about those ones. All right, Experimental Cadre. This attachment, I will say, combines very well with Ret Cadre and Kayun because it says Battle Suit characters have +6 range, which is not the character model, it's the unit. So any lead crisis suit for all intents and purposes, or what's the face Shadow Sun or the Twin Lance have +6 in range, and that's very impactful on Tau because Tau's a low range army, medium at most. It's like all crisis suits are like 18 to 24 inch range, or 12 if you're a melta gun. So it's very good. That does get Melta squads, get the Melta from Deep Strike. Right now, they have normal 12-inch fusion, but with an 18-inch fusion, they get Melta from Deep Strike, which is hugely impactful for that unit. This is large and in charge for Retribution Cadre. So yeah, Retribution Cadre has a 6-inch Deep Strike, but that doesn't let you get with the Melta range. This does. Thermoneurotic Projector. Oh, this is all the weapons, not the Melta though. So pick a flamer weapon. The flamer gets +2 strength, +1 AP, +1 damage. So it's a D6 weapon at strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. That is very random. It's got to be cheap. Plasma Accelerator Rifle. It also has 18-inch range now though. So Plasma Gun, which I think is 18 now, so it goes 24 or 24 to 30, one of those. So pick a Plasma weapon. This model is now strength of 10. Let me check what the Plasma is. All right, so yeah, Flamer is 12, Plasma is 18, and the Airburster is 24. So imagine those are all +6 in range. So the Plasma is strength 8, AP 3, damage 3 baseline. So it becomes strength 10, AP 4, damage 4 with 2 shots. So that is quite an impactful weapon. You go from one shot at damage 3 at strength 8 to two shots at strength 10, damage 4. So you go up to damage 8 equivalently, and you become AP4. So very high. This is quite a good upgrade, I would say. And a supernova launcher, which technically would be good if this was not this edition. Your weapon, which is a D6 shot at 24-inch range, indirect 301. So it becomes 30 with blast. So it becomes 3 strength, 1 AP, 1 damage. So it becomes 30-inch range, D6 shots at strength 6, AP 1 damage 2. So it's mostly a worse flamer now, because if you shoot indirect, you hit on 6s, unless you don't move and someone can see you. So it's pretty much just a worse flamer. And I don't think the flamer is very good to begin with. I think you know, you can try and cheese stuff. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try and kill one intercessor right away if I can see that intercessor with someone else. So you can just kill them with that unit. Whatever, it's not that impactful. This one's good. Plasma Accelerator, I will say, is good. And then this has one strat, which is weird because it only has 3 enhancements. There's supposed to be 5 things altogether. It seems to be missing something, either an enhancement or a strat. Your shooting phase, when a battlesuit character decides to shoot, that character unit has +1 strength, or you can give them strength and AP for fucking hazardous. That's really bad because a commander has 4 guns and a crisis suit has 6 guns. So it's 10 guns. Each 1 or 2 you roll on those 10 guns is 3 mortal wounds. So you're very easily likely to kill 2 whole crisis suits for a glorified just +1 AP. Because a +1 strength can hit a good amount of breakpoints. You know, like melted guns go to strength 10, flamers go to strength 5, burst cannons go to strength 6. Missile pods go to strength 8, I think. So a lot of breakpoints that the strength is just generically good with. And the AP is obviously can be very good. That was always also a lowish AP army in a lot of ways. You know, missile pods are 1, burst cannons are 0, flamers 0, things like that. Most ions like 2. So this helps a lot, but holy shit, that's the most suicidal strat in the world. So I think you're taking this detachment ability for the detachment ability alone. And if you really want priority assets, which I think Tau is actually a good army at, like that's probably one of the things they would want to do. But detachment ability is really good. And I like this. I like this. I like Plasma Accelerator Rifle. I like it a lot. All right, so that's really it. Not a lot for Tau. Let's see if they have any upgrades to talk about. All right, for the Greater Good, they said got updated. I'm going to read it real quick and see if it was just as it is now. You're trying to start shoot face like they're going to become 0 unit shoot face. Shoot this way. I'll shoot. But one unit has been marked as a spotter unit. Okay, so you pick at the beginning, but you don't need LOS beginning. Let's reread the marking thing so that the marking thing might actually be good. I think it was here. All right, when this unit is selected to shoot, select an enemy with a 9. That unit is 9-inch until this enemy is shot. Okay, so it's when you're selected to shoot. Is that when you mark? Let's check real quick. Shoot phase. Selected. As not selected to shoot, it is eligible to shoot. So it's before you're selected to shoot. So no. It doesn't get around marked for what I can read, so it doesn't save you. So that thing looks pretty useless. So it looks the exact same, from what I can tell. Okay. Okay, same thing. Votann just as selected. Each time an enemy is selected, its charged target. Okay, so changing how Votann grenades work. Make sure it actually works correctly. Patient Hunter, Ioun. The third force have sustained hits. Then guided. They have ignore mods. I forgot. I was like sustained too. Yeah, they got rid of that a long time ago. Monka. Like swiftly. I think it's like 2 times. They have scout. Flame blow. Okay, nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing there. Add frame to shit. Sun forward suit, same damage. Okay, still the same thing there. Ethereal. Did they not update the bomber here? Let's see. They did. Okay, cool. Yeah, the poor Dark Talon. It's the only thing that's forgotten. All right. I don't see any real differences there, but I might be wrong. Like I said, I don't play this army. Each time it makes attacks targets a spotted unit, improves up with skill by 1. Okay. Oh, they did rework this to make people stop cheating with Pathfinders. Pathfinders don't guide themselves If some people think they do because the issue is like, I got myself, I know lethal. No, they do this. They give themselves BS in Norse cover. Because I used to just say, something guided, whatever. Don't be cheating with Pathfinders if you have been. Okay, same thing. Go back to the old Riptide, please. This shit is so annoying to play against. Rune, Frame and OC, Sunshark Bomber. Yep, just same old thing. Twin Lance. Was this changed? Let's check. It used to not be visible. You interact Twin Lance, you get another nerf. Bitches. All right, cool. Ability, yes. Fuck. What a goofy question. All right, that's Tau. Like I said, not too long here. Some fun stuff. Finally, the GSC I know the least amount about. All right, GSC. Like I said, this is what I know mostly the least amount, so we're not going to go too long on this. But I know this detachment is cool as shit. Heroes of the Uprising. Units, your little special characters that aren't like premises, have Killer, which is Locust, Telomorphs, Reductus, Saboteurs, and Sanctuses. What Killer does is give you a real one-stand wound. Alrighty. That's pretty okay. Mostly on probably the Sanctus and the Telomorph. Locust Sanctus model. This model has +1 damage. That is really, really good. Because the Sanctus, if you take him a melee, 1, can't be overwatched. 2, he gives himself 6 attacks, strength 3, but anti-infantry 3 up, AP 2, damage 2, so up to damage 3. And he also has 1 unit he gets rerolls all hits and wounds against. Obviously, not as support with this, but the reroll wounds can be nice. So that guy hits godly hard with 6 attacks of damage, so he rerolls and wounding on 3s. It's like the succubus on steroids, the Morgansker succubus. Bunch of rare mutations. Telomorph, Reductus Secretary, this unit has range attacks +2 strength. This is mostly impactful on the. It's not too crazy in general, but it's nice on the Telomorph. He's got like 6 attacks, strength 6, AP 2, only damage 1, but goes up to strength 8. He makes a reactive move. You get nearby him, and then he gets to shoot you. So that's kind of nice. All right, living up to legend. Your shooting phase or 5 phase when a friendly killer unit has attacked and killed a character, that killer unit, each other unit that is battle shocked within 12 is no longer battle shocked. This strat has like 1,000 hoops, and it's very funny, but it's so if you kill a character with one of these 4 units, you get to unbattle shock everyone within 12, which can maybe be really good, but it's probably kind of a meme, but it is kind of funny. Surging Brood Worship. Your shooting phase or 5 phase of friendly killer unit select attack, you get death wounds. That is ungodly ridiculous on the Sanctus. That guy is anti-infantry 3 up. So 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, rolling 1s, or hitting on 2s, rolling everything. Hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, or rolling on 3s, rolling everything. At damage 3, death wounds. That guy just kills like a whole squad very easily. Which is insane, because like against every squad, each 3 up is a dead dude. It's ridiculous. It's so good. This little one single man, the little 50-point Sanctus with, I don't know, 20-point handset, whatever this costs, makes me want to play this whole army. He's gonna jump in, kill something, and die. To be fair, he's got this. He won't have the death wounds, though. Loyal to the end. 5 phase, when an enemy targets a friendly killer unit, that killer unit, when he is destroyed, you roll dice. On a 1, they take a mortal wound. So the end, it's not nothing. On a 2, if you find death, which means you can kill shit out of him again. You can't get death wounds. Well, that's really cool. Dispositions, I can't remember if I went over them, but real quickly, I assume GSC wants to play priority assets and recon. Those are like the go wide action-based depositions. So those are probably the best. So you have things like the Pure Strain Brood Swarm, which we can get to next. Disruption, that's okay. But other than that, you have just Outliner Claw and Xenocreed. Those are kind of what you probably want. You probably for sure do not want to play Taken Hold, and you're probably the worst person foe army in the game. Very up there. So you're probably gonna have to aim for, okay, how do I get priority assets or recon? Just like I said, Outliner Claw, Xenocreed. This army probably does Taken Hold okay if you can play mass battle line. It probably does it actually quite good if you have like mass of the deep strike battle line, which I think everything has deep strike. Everything probably does, but at least like acolytes and stuff. All right, that's the first detachment. The second one, this is the Gene Stealer detachment. Any within Gene Stealer units can go in reserve at the end of your opponent's 5 phase. That's it. Nice and simple. You cannot take in a Pure Strain detachment, which I think is Biosancta Brood Sword. I think that's the Pure Strain detachment. Arc Star Child. Your Gene Steer unit gets +1 toughness, 4 up save. So, maybe you'll be slightly durable against AP0 weapons, and more importantly, strength 5. Because you are not a Tyranid unit. You do not have strength 5 Gene Steer as baseline. And toughness is nice because you go T5. This is very good unless it's like 20 points, you're taking all 5-mans. You're taking a lot of 10-mans. This is very impactful. Talent of the Sire. Patriarch model only. This unit can reroll once to wound. This is very funny because I'm used to Tyranid Gene Stealers, which reroll once to hit and once to wound if they're on objective, versus the Gene Stealer ones, which don't do anything. Up to Gene Stealers have Deep Strike and Infiltrate, and they get Dev Wounds, which also what the Tyranid ones do, to be fair. But yeah. Wait, do they not get Dev Wounds? I know they get Advanced Charge. They get Advanced Charge baseline. I think probably the Patriarch gets Dev Wounds. I'm not even gonna check. It doesn't matter that much. But like I said, I think in general they're a lot worse than Tyranid ones. I like Scout more than Infiltrate most of the time, anyways. Scout is worse now if you have both keyword, which they don't, so it doesn't really matter. But this helps you even it out. All right, strats. Lurk and Strike. You move phase when a pre-restrained unit is selected to fall back, you can fall back and charge. Always nice to have something like that. Crawling Horror. You start your opponent's move phase, pick up your restrained unit, and they have -6 detection range. Fuck. I don't know if that lets you go to a 6-inch hidden. I don't know if that works with this weird 12-inch hidden that we can't even see the rule for yet until we get to the app. But it's at least a 9, which is very nice. All right, and Inhuman Reactions. Your opponent's phase, when an enemy ends a move within 8 inches of a Gene Stealer unit, you move D3 + 3. That's just good. Reaction moves are good. That is good. Detachment, it seems good, and it has a I assume a very good detachment ability, party assets, when you want. All right, and finally, Xenocrene Masses. This one cannot be taken with Host Ascension. This detachment is pretty cool. Command phase, friendly Neophyte hybrids on train feature, they heal 3. Pretty good. That's even more healing. They baseline heal with their little icon. Maybe the icon ward makes them heal more. Something about that. But they heal a bunch, and you're going to heal even more. Inspired to Greatness. Magnus Prime model rerolls damage rolls. This is kind of a meme. Probably not going to take this. It's probably better Magnus is a gun. Devious Disguises. Upgrade. You have a hybrid unit only. This gives a -3 detection range. This is very good. This gives them nice loan up unit. You probably can take it three times. It's a style that GSD wants to play. Eyes of the Cult. Start shooting phase. Pick a Neophyte hybrid. Everyone, enemy units within that terrain feature +6 detection range. It's fine. It's a little niche. +6 detection range is always better. It's also an AoE, so it targets everyone in that terrain feature, but your opponent has to be in the terrain feature, and you have to get to that terrain feature. Got some hoops, but it's fine. Fanatical Hail. Neophyte hybrid. In your shooting phase, you pick that enemy unit. You pick one enemy unit. You reroll hits against that enemy unit. Very good. Essentially gives them the rule that the GSC players have been crying about that they lost. Probably deservedly. That they're sad it's gone. Primus, got changed, so I think +1 hit instead of reroll hits. Obviously, especially since they can't Overwatch and reroll hit you to death anymore. This is also not as impactful as it was before because you don't have state hits from your attached ability anymore. But you're still reroll hits. You're in +1 hit now. You can shoot pretty hard. You get seismic cannon. You get grenade launch. Pew, 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 pew. Boom. That's pretty good. Skulk from the Underbelly. Your opponent's shooting phase when enemy unit targets a hybrid unit. With every model in terrain feature, that hybrid unit range attacks that target unit have -1 AP. This is pretty close to one of the worst strats ever. This strat is so bad. So you have to have a hybrid unit, and everyone has to be in terrain feature. Unit is also like 23 models wide, by the way. You are a 5-up save armor unit, and you get AOC. All right, we're going to pretend this strat doesn't exist. That's really funny. This strat was. It's not even like +1 save, which would be better and still would be like kind of a meme. It's also only shooting phase too. What the hell? This is so bad. This is funny. This attachment's good. We'll ignore that part. Just like block it out. Like you don't exist. But these two strats and these things, quite good. All right, let's go to the updates. Holy crap, this army is. I forgot they reworked the fucking army ability like 3 times because of the worst army ability ever made. Okay, this seems to be the same. I don't know, resurgence points and all that crap. You get 10 of them. Boop it up, boop it up. It's crazy how much 5-mans are more efficient on specifically jackals, pure strains. That's it. Okay. Don't care. Don't care. Why does this even exist anymore? You don't even use these. Okay, whatever. They got released forever ago, which is stupid. Did they change the biosync to Brood Storage? Oh, that's that. No, that's different. That's a different hatch I don't pay attention to. Okay. Basically cheap. Telling you how Orks work. 8-inch reserves. Old ambush. Blah 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 blah. Other stuff. Still keeping that 2 CP. Still keeping turning the shadows the same. 6-inch deep strike. Yep, still keeping the reactive move. Atlanta claw stuff. Said I don't play this attachment, so I don't really know. Okay, adding support to all these guys. So if you ever want to take a Biophagus, a Clamvis, a Locust, or a Nexus solo, I don't know if anyone ever did this. You're not allowed to anymore. Think about that one. Okay. Oh, they changed them to 8. I don't know what they were before. They're probably 9 before. Let's check. See if they got nerfed. This is a while ago. They're still 8. Okay, whatever. I don't know. They didn't get nerfed. Or currently didn't get nerfed. What were they before? They were 6 before? Is that what it was? I'm trying to think of the good old days. That's probably what they did when they changed. That's probably, they tried to change them when they changed Story and Deep Strike to 6-inch Deep Strike. Okay, continue. Okay. Okay. Okay, same thing. Just add a frame. That's really funny that they can order themselves. I know they could, but that's funny. All right, cool. All right, everyone. That is all the Xenos today. So that's a lot. Like I said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my perspective, especially on the armies we're very deeply like here. Hope we gave you some perspective, all the rules and such, and how it works. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Helps a lot, means a lot. Trying to get 10,000 subs and all that jazz. If you need any coaching, hit me up through the Discord. It's been in the comment description. It is going to be very busy very soon, especially for limited shit. Now that we have, especially, Drukhari and Bloody stuff, we can very easily do 99% of stuff now. The only thing we're missing is like points. So that's really cool. Excited for that. Other than that, tomorrow is, I think, Chaos, which should be a very big day for us. We love our Chaos here. I love them all. T-Sons. T-Sons are evil. And then finally, Imperium, which is mostly Custodies, as it applies to me, on Thursday and Friday. Hopefully something. But if there isn't something, on Friday, I will be releasing a best deposition / detachment and what is best together. What deposition should we be aiming for Drukhari? What detachments maybe you should be looking for? Which are the best? So look forward to that on Friday. It's gonna be Friday morning. I don't know, the 12th or whatever that is, 13th. All right, everyone. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. You all have a good day.